We are live a little bit early before first pitch start. Just felt like going on a little early, but it is division time between the Orioles and the Yankees. First time these two teams are meeting on the season. Make sure everything's working here. All right, yep, audio's working. Make sure chat's working. Yep, chat is in fact working. All right, there we go. So it should be good there. And yeah, so the Orioles and Yankees duking it out here. Yankees, the American League or AL East leading and also American League leading team in terms of record. They are 20-11. Orioles 15-16. They did just win a series against the Houston Astros, did the Orioles. Yankees, meanwhile, been cruising. They won, I forget who they just recently played, but they won. They beat Boston recently. They beat a lot of teams recently, to say the least. Let's do. Need to get my Fangraphs rosters up and Baseball Savant page as well for starting pitching. Yankees starting pitching has been really, really good. So tonight's matchup will be the lefty for the Orioles, Cade Povich, going up against Will Warren, who I feel like he might be a lefty as well. Let me look it up. Let's see. Will Warren is no, he's a righty. It's Freed and Weathers are the lefties who will be throwing Saturday and Sunday. It's actually a 4-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, between these two teams, which is pretty interesting there. Let me pull up Baseball Savant. So I can get pitching stuff ready for Cade Povich and Will Warren. Yeah, Povich just got recalled from AAA for the Orioles. Pitched in one start so far. He's pitched in 2 games, started one. Was like a long relief man in the other. Pitched well in both those appearances, I feel like, as well. 2.19 ERA through those 2 games and 12.1 innings pitched. I think he won his start. So let's see. Will Warren. I think it's 2 L's, right? Yes. There we go. All right. It's just taking a sec for Baseball Savant to warm up. They have Warren 3-0 on the season and 6 starts. The 2.59 ERA, and I'll get to the pitches as we get in there. But yeah, there's a game should be starting here in just a moment or so. I'm actually going to take my jacket off real quick. We'll see. I think the usual trio of Henderson, Ward, and Rutschman, I believe, are the starting 3. Henderson leading the Orioles in home runs with 9. Ward leading the Orioles in batting average with 304. I think he's also leading. I don't know if he's still tied for the league or leading the league in doubles, but he's been one of the league leading doublers, I guess. Let's go with doublers. He's really good at hitting doubles right now, is Taylor Ward, and also taking walks. O's played in a doubleheader yesterday against Houston. I think Ward had 5 walks over the course of those 2 games. Seeing the ball very well. Does not have many. I think he only has 1 home run at the moment, though. I'll actually pull up stats real quick. So let's see. Complete leaders for hitters. Doubles. Matt Olson's now tied with Taylor Ward, as well as Ernie Clement, with 13 doubles apiece for all of them. But yeah, Ward's very, very good at getting on base, and Adley Rutschman, since returning from the injured list last week, has been on an absolute tear so far. He's been insanely good. Had a grand slam yesterday. He is batting third, hitting .365 on the season. Pete Alonso, Samuel Basayo, Dylan Beavers, the year 4, 5, and 6 hitters, and Leody Taveras, Kobe Mayo, and Blaze Alexander, 7, 8, and 9. So Henderson, the batting average for him has not quite gotten there yet, just hitting .214 on the season. But he's got a lot of power, and obviously a lot of speed as well, and a Gold Glove caliber shortstop. They'll be facing Will Warren here to start the game. He's given up 3 home runs, 2.0 walks per 9, 10.6 strikeouts per 9. Opponent's batting average .240, 1.15 WHIP through 31 1/3 innings with a 2.59 ERA in 6 starts with 3 wins, no losses issued to Mr. Warren. So, yep, there we go. All right, let me flip over to the box score. Just for those who might be tuning in for the first time, I have Xfinity as my Wi-Fi internet service provider, whatever you want to call it, and I use them for TV and all that. And they have a stream delay on all of their live events. So my TV broadcast that I'm using to call the plays and just watch the game in general is usually about like 30 seconds behind most other sources, which is very frustrating. So that is why you get the box score instead of the Gamecast, because the Gamecast will spoil things, and the box score will as well, but not usually as regularly. I'd say it's a bit harder to track, whereas the Gamecast is very easy to display what is going to happen. I might switch around at some point depending on how things go, but for now it is Gunnar Henderson, the lefty, taking on Will Warren, the righty. First pitch is top right of the zone, does not get the call, so that is ball 1. Looked like that was some form of a fastball. Warren throws 4-seam, sinker, sweeper, change, and a curve. So that looked like a 4-seamer there. Next pitch is in the zone for strike 1 with another 4-seamer. That 4-seamer is his most used pitch at 43%. Throws it a lot to lefties, and average mix of his other pitches. There is a 4-seamer that is a bit out and away. So 3 straight fastballs to Gunnar Henderson. 2 balls, 1 strikes here to start the game. I will not be pulling double duty tonight as there is no NFL draft to cover. That was a really fun stream last night. But yeah, 2-1 here to Gunnar Henderson. It is fouled away with another fastball, so it is 2-2. But yeah, no NFL draft tonight. This is entirely baseball that I'll be covering here. And so out there in the Bronx, as Henderson will strike out here on a changeup to start the game here. First off-speed pitch thrown by Will Warren induces a swinging strike. Changeup was below the zone. Gunnar goes fishing. He does strike out a lot so far this season, does Gunnar Henderson. And one moment, just gotta text someone real quick. First pitch to Taylor Ward is outside with a fastball. So Ward hitting .304 in the season, just 1 home run at the moment. Hit 36 or 38 home runs last year. I forget exactly how many, but has been really good at just getting on base. Takes ball 2 on a fastball outside. But the power, I mean, he's gotten obviously 13 doubles, tied for the lead in the majors. He will look at strike 1 there on a sinker that is in the middle of the zone. But the home run power, which I feel like a lot of fans, and I think the executive branch were expecting from Taylor Ward, Hasn't quite been there yet, but again, not complaining about just the fact that he gets on base incredibly well. There's a sinker that is just going to clip the bottom of the zone for strike 2. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about the fact that Taylor Ward is hitting 304 for the team and walks so many times. It's just a little surprising that he has 1 home run at the moment. There is a knock over into right field. Will that be hit? No! Judge makes the snag. Never mind. Wait, is that a home run? Oh, no. Okay, no, never mind. Aaron Judge makes the snag right at the short porch in right field. So that is out number 2. I almost reverse jinxed it into Ward hitting his second home run, but instead it is Aaron Judge with the catch that probably would not have been a home run. I think it would have been a double off the wall. It was been close, but Judge, who obviously is very tall, ranges in the outfield to get the second out on a very loud out number 2. That brings up Adley Rutschman, who will look at strike 1 on a sweeper that curls back into the right part of the zone. But Judge, who is tied for the league coming into today at least, 4 home runs with 12, obviously having another MVP caliber season to start, makes a very nice play in the outfield. There is ball 1 to Adley on a sweeper there. Adley, the switch hitter, batting lefty at the moment, I feel like he's been hitting really well from the left side of the plate so far this season. Again, hit a grand slam yesterday. That actually was when he was hitting righty. But Adley will knock this one out of play on a fastball, 1-2. But yeah, Adley hitting .356 on the season so far. Missed about 2 weeks, I want to say, may at most. So it's not a full season so far. It takes ball 2 on a changeup in the dirt. But still, through the time he's played, he took it was off to a decent start for the season, but has really turned it on over the past, ever since he's got back, and even the game or two before he went down with an injury, he's really found his groove at the moment. 2-2 to Adley is nope, called strike 3. Looks like it did clip the bottom of the zone on the fastball. Adley takes strike 3. Side goes down in order. So that will bring up Paul Goldschmidt, Ben Rice, and Aaron Judge. And one sec, I gotta answer another text here, but that will be after this commercial break, essentially, for the actual game. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, Goldschmidt, Rice, and Aaron Judge. Goldschmidt not off to a great start batting wise, just hitting .179 on the season. But Ben Rice and Aaron Judge, they're hitting both really, really well. Ben Rice especially, obviously hitting .327. But I think it's the two of them. Judge, I think, is leading the Yankees in OPS, but I think Ben Rice is second. Outside of that, the lineup has been up and down. Jose Caballero at shortstop has been hitting well, but outside of that, it's been hit or miss, especially towards the bottom lineup with Austin Wells, Trent Grisham. Grisham especially has been having a terrible start to the season, at least in terms of batting approach, but obviously that could all change in one night. Well, not like the full average and whatnot, but obviously only takes a couple good swings to blow a game open here as Cade Povich throws strike 1 to Paul Goldschmidt. Povich, the lefty starter for the Orioles. Goldschmidt, righty batter. Povich throws four-seam, curve, slider, changeup, and sinker, according to Baseball Savant. There's a fastball there that is grounded over to second base, fielded there by Blaze Alexander, who throws out Goldschmidt at first. So Povich primarily throws the four-seamer and curveball to righties, throws a little bit of that slider and changeup, does not throw the sinker to righties, throws the slider a lot more to lefties. That four-seamer and slider, mostly that combination there, does throw the sinker a decent bit to lefties, though I think this is just through the 2 games he's pitched in so far. Throws fastball there to Ben Rice, who takes strike one. Rice hitting 10 home runs on the season, 1,100 OPS, 23 RBIs. So he's having a really good start of the season. I should also make sure we're all good there. It's all freshened up. Next pitch to Ben Rice is just outside with a fastball for ball one. Rice batting lefty. I'm not sure if he's always a lefty batter or if he's a switch hitter. I do not know off the top of my head. But he's been hitting the ball hard and he's hitting the ball well. So the lefty-lefty matchup here to Ben Rice on pitch 3 is a swing and miss on that slider there. Curveball, actually, never mind. That's what they're calling it. So 1 and 2 here on Ben Rice, courtesy of Cade Povich. Bottom of the first. 1 out, no score, nobody on. But Ben Rice this season versus left-handed pitchers, 370 average, 4 home runs, 4 RBIs, according to the Masson graphic on my screen. 1-2 to Rice is popped up in the air into shallow left field. That will everybody's get caught by Taylor Ward. Both Kobe Mayo and Gunnar Henderson were ranging out. They both leap over Taylor Ward, who makes the sliding catch for out number 2. So a little bit of acrobatics there in the outfield for the Orioles. Ends up with a nice harmless out there. But it was kind of in that Bermuda Triangle area, but it hung up just enough for Taylor Ward to get it. Henderson and Mayo are in sync with their leap over and around Taylor Ward. That is like legitimate, like Cirque du Soleil looking athletics right there. Aaron Judge, meanwhile, will pop up the first pitch and out of play on a fastball. So he's 0-1 in the count at the moment. Judge hitting 252 on the season, but that batting average should not fool you. He's hitting over 1,000 OPS, just barely though, but also 12 home runs. Again, tied for the league lead and 20 RBIs. Judge will look at ball 1 on a changeup just outside the top left of the zone. So Judge, who already has a potential home run, either home run or a double/triple, long fly ball robbery, essentially, right at the wall over in right field of Taylor Ward in this game. We'll look at strike 2 on a fastball in there that he does not swing at. So 9 pitches now for Caleb, not Caleb, just Cade. Don't know where I got Caleb from. But yeah, Cade Povich, 9 pitches, is 1 strike away from getting Aaron Judge out, but obviously a very, very dangerous hitter. That curveball is spiked into the dirt. Judge does not swing wisely. So it's 2-2. Judge, who has quite obviously hit Baltimore very, very well in his career, as they're showing right now. 321 average, 51 home runs, 109 RBIs in 120 games against the Baltimore Orioles. Certainly helps that he faced a lot of really bad Orioles teams back in the day. I say back in the day, like that was 3 to 4 years ago. Well, I guess at this point now it's like 5 to 6 years ago. Like the 2019, 2020, 2021 Orioles. Povich's next fastball was outside, so it's a full count here for Aaron Judge. Not to say that, Aaron Judge was just stat padding, but, he's certainly helps facing some really bad Orioles teams back in the day. Judge will foul this one off the face mask of Adley Rutschman. Or actually, that might be Samuel Basayo back there catching. It is Basayo catching, which is unfortunate for him because he actually took a fastball to the face mask yesterday, too, in game 2 of the doubleheader. So don't need more balls to the face mask for Samuel Basayo. I guess Adley Rutschman is the DH for today. Basayo catching. Basayo also having had a nice stretch of games over the last week. So it's still full count for Aaron Judge. Next pitch is just outside for ball 4. Aaron Judge does not swing, so that is a walk for Aaron Judge. First base runner for either team. So Povich misses his target there with the fastball and walks Aaron Judge. Again, sucks they walk him with 2 outs in a full count, but Judge is not the not exactly a guy you should be disappointed in walking, given how good of a hitter he is. Brings up Cody Bellinger, who takes strike one with a slider just a little bit below the zone. Probably could be challenged into a ball, but Bellinger does not decide to challenge. Hitting 241 on the season, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. The 0-1 here is looped in there, almost hits him on a curveball that is well inside for ball 1. So the curveball for Povich has not been as accurate as he probably would like so far. But again, he still does have 2 outs at the moment. Next pitch is knocked over into right field. That is going to get down for a base hit. That will potentially score a run. And that is fumbled a little bit by the right fielder, Dylan Beavers. And that is safe at home. Aaron Judge going first to home on the slight bobble by Dylan Beavers over in right field. So that's an RBI double for Cody Bellinger. So I'm pretty sure that's going to get charged as an error to Dylan Beavers on the bobble there. Kind of hopped off the wall, tried to barehand it, and instead kind of slapped off his hand, so that gave Aaron Judge more time to scamper around home. Judge a bit faster than I think people would expect, but it is an RBI. And it actually knocks off his glove, not his bare hand. So Beavers just loses a little bit of time, hits the cutoff man and Blaze Alexander, but the throw is offline. So 1-0 there for the Yankees, as Grisham's also able to, or Bellinger, not Grisham, sorry. Bellinger's able to make his way over to third. So I'm assuming they're going to say it's a double and then an error on Dylan Beavers. Strike 1 to Ahmed Rosario at the moment, hitting 263. Rosario takes strike 2 on a fastball just at the bottom of the zone. The third baseman for the Yankees, 4 home runs on the season, 828 OPS, 13 RBIs. I think he's kind of taken over that spot after Ryan McMahon got off to a really bad start batting-wise for New York. 0-2 to Rosario is swung on a missed for a strikeout there. So Rosario goes down on 3 straight fastballs. The Yankees do get a run here to start the game. They're currently not charging it as an error on Dylan Beavers. My guess is they'll change it, but I'm not quite sure. Either way, it is 1-0 New York, as it'll be Alonso, Basayo, and Beavers to bat now, or well, coming up in just a moment. This is also Pete Alonso's, the polar bear, first game back in the city of New York. Obviously, this is not Citi Field, home of the New York Mets, where he played for the first 7 years of his career, I think, because I think he came up in 2019, so maybe it was 6 years. Anyway, for however long, first year for Pete Alonso, where he's not playing as a New York Met. First time back in New York in the regular season for Pete Alonso, though this is obviously not in Queens. This is in the Bronx. But still, pretty big moment for him, I would assume. So he's going to hopefully try and get the Orioles jump-started here as we move on to the second inning. Other games going on right now in the Major League. Had at least one. I know the Diamondbacks. I was thinking Arizona football team. But the D-backs and the Cubs played earlier, and that was a 6-5 Cubs victory, I believe. Why did my scoreboard just go away? Yes, Cubs won 6-5 over the Diamondbacks. Have a lot of games that pretty much just started out. Astros, Red Sox scoreless. Rangers up 2-0 already over the Tigers. Reds and Pirates are scoreless. Brewers up 1-0 over the Nationals. Phillies and Marlins scoreless. Giants and Rays also scoreless. That Reds-Pirates game is also in a rain delay at the moment. Coming up in about an hour or so, a little under an hour, Blue Jays and Twins, Dodgers and Cardinals. Then a little bit later, Braves and Rockies. Then 2 hours from now, Mets, Angels, White Sox, Padres, Guardians, Athletics, and Royals and Mariners. So Pete Alonso's up to bat, hitting just 198 on the season, though does have 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Slow start for Pete, but he is starting to hit better as of late, and he's been playing extremely good defense at first base. We'll look at a first pitch ball on a sweeper that is outside. But yeah, Alonso defensively has been one of the best defensive first basemen in baseball right now. The bat just hasn't quite gotten there yet. He looks at strike 1 on a sweeper that bends in there. But think everyone's kind of expecting that Alonso will, at some point pretty soon, pick up the bat and start to, put things together as a hitter. That one is knocked over into right field, and that will tie the game. Speaking of which, there's the bat for Pete Alonso. The short porch knock there for Pete is home run number 5 for Pete Alonso as the Yankees fan throws that ball back out onto the field. So no chance for Aaron Judge to rob that one. That one was well gone. 367 for the distance, 107 off the bat. That is home run number 5 for Alonso, as already stated. Makes it 1-1 there for the Orioles. And yeah, I'm not used to watching games at Yankee Stadium, so that just looked like a routine fly ball over there, but that was well and truly gone in the very, very short porch at Yankee Stadium. That brings up Samuel Basallo, hitting .232 on the season, has really brought the batting average up over the past week. Takes strike 1 on a slider, or actually has more of a sweeper than a slider. But the Orioles quickly get their run back off of Will Warren. So the 0-1 here to Basallo, lefty catcher from Warren, is just below the zone. Catches part of the zone on the fastball for strike 2. That one looked like a changeup, or either sinker or changeup that Warren threw that Alonso just knocked to the opposite field for homer. So Basallo, who had a rough go yesterday, takes ball 1 on changeup well outside. But Basallo is striking out a lot on low breaking balls yesterday against Houston in a 1-2 hole at the moment, though has just taken his first ball. He will swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a changeup, down and away. So I think the scouting report at the moment is pitch low, pitch away to the big guy. They're showing replays of Alonso's homer. And yeah, that was into the second deck of right field over there, right over the Parts Authority sign. Tyler O'Neill is in shock on the bench at that homer as Dylan Beavers takes strike 1. O'Neill just could not believe it. That was really, really funny. Was flabbergasted at the Alonso homer there. As Beavers is in a no-1 hole at the moment. O'Neill not in the starting lineup today. I believe Beavers, Tavares, and Ward, which has kind of been the usual outfield now with Leody Tavares kind of playing into the everyday starter role because he's been playing very well. So the 1-1 Beavers now is swung on a miss on a curveball, drops down below the zone. Beavers had also taken a fastball outside for ball 1 the pitch before. But between Leody Tavares and Jeremiah Jackson, 2 guys who were, bench players really to start out the season, they've usurped some of the starting roles right now for how well they're playing. Beavers will strike out on a changeup below the zone. So that is another strikeout for Will Warren, his 4th already on the night. Actually, it might be 5th now. It says, is this updated? Yeah. It has updated. All right, yeah, now it's good over there. So, yeah, 4th strikeout already for Will Warren, but again, Orioles have tied it back up thanks to the Alonso home run. Speaking of Leody Tavares, he grounds the first pitch off of Will Warren. He knocks it down, will throw it to first base and be in time to get Leody Tavares out. Kind of knocked off of Warren's shoe almost, and he knocked it straight down. So, bit of an unfortunate break there for Leody Tavares, but again, Orioles tie it up as we move on to the bottom of the second inning. Will be Jazz Chisholm Jr., Jose Caballero, and Austin Wells to bat for the New York Yankees. Chisholm, who was brought in via trade from the Miami Marlins a couple seasons ago at this point. Speedy guy. Has only hitting .202 so far to start the season. Not his best start of the season at all. Has been hilariously bad at challenging pitches through ABS. Has Jazz Chisholm been one of the worst statistically at challenging pitches. I know it's he's not, in terms of quantity, it hasn't been the most, but the quality and percentage of pitches he's missed or has failed to overturn with his challenges he's been one of the worst. In the funniest ways possible. So meanwhile, out of town scoreboard, the Rangers are putting it to the Tigers at the moment. They're now up 4-0. with a 3-run and counting third inning. Josh Young had an RBI single in the first inning. Then Danny Jansen hit a solo homer to start the third inning. Josh Young had another RBI single in the third. And then Jock Peterson, I think it was Jock Peterson, right? Yeah, Jock Peterson just had a sac fly. Score-wise, elsewhere, the Brewers are up 2-0 now against the Nationals. Mitchell and let's see, what is your first name? Garrett Mitchell scored on a passed ball in the first inning, and then William Contreras with an RBI single there in the third. Otherwise, no score in any of the games that are currently ongoing. We'll get back now to the bottom of the second. Povich gave up the 1 run in the bottom of the first. That might have been an error. Could charge it on Dylan Beavers. They have not charged it on Dylan Beavers, though. Did strand a runner at third as he struck out Ahmed Rosario. Throws a strike 1 there to Jazz Chisholm on a slider. Lefty-lefty matchup here. So 19 pitches there in the first inning for Povich, gives up the 1 run. Chisholm swings through a fastball there for strike number 2. So quick 0-2 hole for Jazz. Povich just the 1 strikeout in the first inning, but is 1 strike away from getting another one here against Chisholm, the second baseman for the New York Yankees. So Povich wearing 37 looks to deliver on the 0-2. It is spiked down and away on a slider that was not competitive at all, so it is 1-2 now. Was definitely not trying to throw a strike there, but could have thrown a better pitch anyway. So Chisholm, very dangerous base runner if he's able to get on base. Between him and Jose Caballero, back-to-back here. Chisholm will instead strike out on a slider that is down and away. So that is basically the same pitch he was pitching before, but did a much better pitch this time. Did Cape Povich to get his second strikeout of the night. So a really nice slider there that Chisholm had no chance of hitting. Gets out number 1 of the inning. Brings up Jose Caballero, who's brought in over from the Tampa Bay Rays, if I remember correctly, last trade deadline. I'm 99% sure at least. Caballero will knock this one high over into left field. If that stays fair, it's gone. It is. That is a home run for Jose Caballero. Makes it 2-1. Yankees get their run right back. Looked like that was a fastball that Caballero just knocked high over into left. So 2-1 here for the New York Yankees. Yes, he was acquired at the trade deadline last season from the Rays. 397, 108.5 off the bat for Caballero. And yeah, that was a fastball inside part of the zone. And Caballero just was squared up to it and knocked it high and out of there. Over into the second deck right around the foul pole for first home run for the Yankees in this series. Austin Wells is up now. Catcher for New York takes ball 1 on a slider below the zone. So let me make sure the box score is updated. Yep, there we go. So 1-0 Austin Wells, hitting just 200 on the season. Knocks this fastball out of play and foul behind the plate. But yeah, Caballero, probably going to be the Yankees' everyday shortstop for a decent bit, since Anthony Volpe, who was brought up to be the new age shortstop, has struggled and been injured a lot. So he's still down in the minors at the moment, rehabbing, and I think just trying to find himself again. There's ball 2 to Austin Wells. But in the meantime, Yankees trade deadline last year was up and down, but the Caballero trade was certainly a good one. You know, David Bednar, the closer from the Pirates that they got, as well as fouled this one off of himself. But yeah, David Bednar, who they acquired at the trade deadline as well, has been good for them. But they're like some of the guys like Ryan McMahon have not been great that they got last deadline. So it's been up and down. I know Brian Cashman, the Yankees GM, has not always been the fan favorite of the Yankees crowd, to say the least. The Yankees so far this year are doing a very good job of playing baseball. And that one's going to hit Austin Wells as that curveball basically just lands right on his hand. Povich is playing it like it hit off his bat, but I think this is going to be a hit by pitch. So this is going to be, right now it is ruled as hit by pitch. The Orioles are going to challenge to see if maybe Austin Wells swung at it, because it was one of those big looping curveballs that basically dropped right onto Wells' bat. Probably hit him right in the finger. So let's see. Does he swing at it? Not really. It might be also trying to see if it hit off the knob of the bat too, because he definitely does not swing. It might actually have hit off the knob of the bat, not his hand. And maybe it clipped his hand a little bit, but this is, I mean, the ball also gets knocked. So ball actually got knocked into fair territory, and Povich threw out Austin Wells at first if they count this as a hit. So we have a challenge at the moment. And either this will be a hit by pitch and the Orioles will lose a challenge, or this will most likely be counted as a fair ball hit, maybe a foul ball, but could be just an out at first base, potentially. Put on the Jeopardy music as we'll wait and see. I'm going to take a sip of water here real quick. Yeah, I think this is, if it were to get overturned, it'll just get overturned to a foul ball. It does kind of look like it hits the knob of the bat. It's a little close. I'm not sure. I think it does actually hit the knob of the bat right there. So this might get overturned. And out after that, don't know if they're going to rule it as a foul ball or an out at first base. 9-1? Ground out, I guess. Or yeah, I guess that's how they would score it if it was. Because let's see, does Povich grab it before it goes foul? No. Don't think so. So I think this is just going to be a wind up as a foul ball if the challenge is overturned. They're taking a good bit here as well. And might get an announcement here in just a moment. All right, so they did confirm that it hit the knob of the bat. They didn't announce what the result was going to be. So I'm assuming they're just calling it a foul ball. And they doesn't look like an out. So I think it is just going to be 2-2 for the count. So no hit by pitch there. Count is 2-2. So Wells has to go back into the batter's box. But yeah, from the side view looking basically over into the from the third base dugout, essentially, it was pretty clear that it hit the knob of the bat. Maybe it clipped Wells' hand, but it was very much a knob of the bat ricochet, which would make sense given how far given how far the ball flew. So the 2-2 to Wells is outside with the slider, so the count runs full. So Wells is a ball away from getting to first base anyway. So I think, not sure if the box score is telling me what's going to happen in the future or if it's just not updated at the moment. The 3-2 to Wells is knocked high and foul. So Povich up to 31 pitches now through an inning and a third. It's kind of playing rescue for the Orioles rotation at the moment, given that Trevor Rogers went down with the flu. He's been put on the 15-day IL. Wells will check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does. So Wells strikes out after the overturned challenge. That box score might... Yeah, there we go. All right. So we're good there. So that is strikeout number 3 for Cade Povich. Second of the inning as well. That is a slider that goes outside. Wells just is not able to hold up. And he is not happy about it either. That brings up Trent Grisham, the center fielder for the Yankees in the 9-hole. Not hitting well so far. 151 on the season for his batting average. Takes ball 1 on a fastball inside. Does have 4 home runs, though, and 16 RBIs. So I guess it's when he makes contact, Grisham is hitting it well. It's just he is struggling to make contact at the moment. Looks at strike one there on a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Povich, not exactly a flamethrower by any means. Fastball is really in the low 90s. That one was a 91 mile per hour fastball. There was a slider there at 88 for ball 2. But he's up and down, to say the least, is Cade Povich. Started a lot last year due to the amount of injuries the Orioles had in their rotation. He throws strike 2 there on a fastball that Grisham does not swing at. But a lot of it was that he would do well through the first two, like the first 2 times through the order against batters, and then completely collapse on the third time through. Started out in AAA this year, got called up for a start, then sent down. It's back up again as Grisham fights this one off over into right field. That will get off the wall. Fielded by Dylan Beavers. He will throw into second base. That will be past Gunnar Henderson. So that is a double there for Trent Grisham. It was like sort of almost a check swing double. It was kind of a weird swing there, but it worked. It was very, very strange looking swing, but gets the job done for Trent Grisham. There was more, not necessarily a check swing, but like a very flat swing. Like no arc to the swing whatsoever. He's basically just yanking it across his body and gets a double out of it. So that brings up Paul Goldschmidt, who, so for 1, takes ball 1 on a curveball just up and away. But it's going to be pitch 20 for Cade Povich here in the second inning. 39th overall, and that is a curveball well high. Povich was brought over from the Minnesota Twins trade acquisition after the Orioles traded away their then closer at the time. Why am I blanking on his name? That sucks. I'm blanking on his name. But he was, anyway, it'll come to me. There is a pickoff attempt, or back pick attempt by Basayo, not in time, as it was ball 3 on a curveball low. So Goldschmidt in 3-0 count. It is, oh man, what is, that's bugging me that I can't remember that guy's name. But he was closed for the Orioles, got traded to the Twins for Povich, Yennier Cano, and then a couple pitchers that never really panned out. So 3-0 to Goldschmidt is high for ball 4. So 4-pitch walk there for Cade Povich, and Basayo is going to come out and talk with him. I think we'll get into pitching. Drew French, Orioles pitching coach, is also going to contribute to the mound visit. It's going to give me more time to try and remember what this freaking guy's name was. What was your name? It's like, that's really bugging me. Orioles closer. It's Hispanic, I know that. He was the guy who was before Felix Bautista, because Bautista kind of usurped that role. And it was back in 2022, I think, was when the trade happened. Oh, that's really bugging me. So yeah, the 4-pitch walk to Goldschmidt with 2 outs is not what you want, because it brings up Ben Rice and then Aaron Judge. So Rice is 0 for 1, but then Judge did double last time he was up. Actually, no, he singled last time he was up. He walked. All right. Got on base. That's what it was. And then it was the Bellinger triple. So 1-0 to Ben Rice. Big moment here early in this game. Rice over into right field. That is going to break the game open there. 3-run home run. Yeah, I kind of expected that. You throw a 4-pitch walk to the 172 hitter Goldschmidt. Yeah, that sucks. All right, who in the world was this Orioles closer? Why am I forgetting her name? So 5-1 Yankees at the moment. Orioles put themselves in a hole. And okay. Oops, sorry about that. I don't know why you're trying to pitch to Ben Rice at all. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Orioles closer before Bautista. Let's see. 22. It was Jorge Lopez. That's who it was, I think. Let me double check, make sure. Judge is in a 1-0 count at the moment. Knocks this one high over into shallow right field. That'll get down for a base hit. So, second time Judge makes it to first. Yeah, it was Jorge Lopez. That's who was the trade, who the Orioles traded away for Cade Povich and Yennier Cano and 2 other pitchers back in the 2022 deadline. So Cody Bellinger, who had the RBI triple in the first inning, is up to bat now. Takes ball 1 on a slider down and away. Yankees coming off an off day. Orioles coming off a doubleheader. That certainly does not help at all. My guess is Povich is going to have a decent leash here just because of the state of the Orioles bullpen. Strike 1 there to Cody Bellinger. But a blow-up inning here for Cade Povich. And no defensive miscues to bail him out, or to excuse himself here. This is all on him. Throws ball to Cody Bellinger there. Just not a good performance here for Cade Povich, unfortunately. It's the start I was worried about as well. The Yankees have been very good. Just didn't want to give up the long ball, and he's given up the long ball twice in this inning. Ball 3 there to Cody Bellinger, as getting close to batting around the order in this inning. Since it was, if Bellinger were to reach, then Edmundo Rosario were to reach, it would get back around to Jazz Chisholm Jr., who struck out to start this inning. Bellinger over past the right infield. That will get to the wall as well. Judge is going to motor around to third. So it is a double there for Cody Bellinger. Judge makes it to third. Beavers able to get the ball in time to prevent another run scoring, but that is a triple-double night already for Cody Bellinger in just 2 innings. Brings up Edmundo Rosario, who struck out to end the first inning, stranding Bellinger at third. Certainly wouldn't mind that here to end the second inning. So, because I'm guessing they're still counting that hit in the first inning as a triple. Maybe they're counting as double. It could just be a double-double night for Bellinger. Rosario fouls the first pitch off behind him for strike 1. So the damage has already been done in this inning. Yankees just looking to add on here. Ben Rice 3-run home run. Rosario fouls the changeup there for strike 2. Jose Caballero also had a solo shot way back at the start of this inning as well, if you remember. That happened, feels like an age ago at this point. That changeup was fouled basically back into the thigh of Samuel Basallo, who's been taking a bit of a beating as of late. So the 0-2 to Rosario is called strike 3. So Rosario strikes out for 2 innings in a row, stranding runners on base. But again, Yankees put up 4 here in the bottom of the second inning, making it 5-1 as we move on to the top of the third. Orioles have some work to do, as it will be Kobe Mayo, Blaze Alexander, and Gunnar Henderson there in the Bronx, try and get this game back on track. So that sucks. That really sucks. It's like there's like 2 guys in this lineup that you really don't want to pitch to. They're back-to-back in Ben Rice and Aaron Judge. And, like, how do you throw a 4-pitch walk to Paul Goldschmidt? I do not understand. With 2 outs as well. Just, come on, man. All right. Scoreboard-wise, elsewhere, the Astros are up 1-0 over the Red Sox. Carlos Correa hit a solo shot there in the top of the third. Rangers still up 4-0 over the Tigers. Brewers still up 2-0 over the Nationals. Marlins now up 1-0 over the Phillies. Xavier Edwards RBI double. And then Rays up 1-0 over the Giants thanks to a Yandy Diaz solo home run. So that's it for the moment. Gonna have a couple more games starting here kind of soon, I guess. Kind of soon. I'll go with that. Let's see. What else has been going on? Nothing much. I feel like the NFL is obviously very quiet now at this point with the draft over. I feel like there hasn't been too much going on as of late in NFL news. Showing shots of Yankee Stadium from behind the big letters in the outfield, I think. Ben Rice, who's DHing, is chatting it up on over in the dugout. Kobe Mayo takes strike one from Will Warren, who had a nice long break in between innings there. Mayo hitting 169 on the season. Does have 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Had a decent stretch there last week. Takes ball one there, though did not have a very good doubleheader appearance yesterday. Warren, already up to 4 strikeouts on the night so far, will get Mayo to swing through a sweeper there for strike 2. And yeah, Yankees comfortably in the driver's seat at the moment against the Orioles, who they've had a couple comebacks, but overall, these are the games they usually don't tend to come back, as Mayo is going to strike out on a sweeper that is nowhere close to the zone. Mayo's not having a good time with breaking balls this season. Strikeout number 5 for Will Warren. Brings up Blaze Alexander, who's hitting 177 on the season, but has been really, really unlucky from all the metrics and stuff. So just waiting for him to start to break out here. Takes strike 1 inside on a sinker. Probably could challenge that, but he's not. Alexander's not going to. Does take his time, however. Still waiting for Blaze's first home run. Also only has 1 RBI. More of a defensive guy than an offensive guy. Has also been more of a rotational guy given the crowded Orioles infield. But Blaze is kind of just an every utility man you can slot in everywhere. Swings through a fastball there for strike 2. So outside of the Alonso home run, Orioles yet to get a hit. A lot of strikeouts here for the Orioles, as that ball is well high on the fastball for ball 1. So hopefully Blaze can start the party here for the Orioles to try and get a rally going. They are pretty good with hitting with 2 outs. 1 out at the moment. Would certainly don't want it to be 2 outs right now, as that will be a foul tip, but not caught for not strike 3. So it is just, we go again on the 1-2. Fastball that Blaze was just a little under, but got a piece of it. So 35 pitches now through 3 1/3 for Will Warren, giving up the solo shot to Pete Alonso and nothing else. Blaze will knock this one out of play and foul on another fastball. No walks yet either for the Orioles. Only 1 for the Yankees as well. That was actually no 2. Never mind. Paul Goldschmidt and Aaron Judge, the 2 walks there. Alexander looks at a sweeper there for ball 2. So he's worked himself back into a decent count here. But just trying to find the magic, essentially. Trying to find the lucky break. Takes ball 3 on a sinker that runs up by his knees. So works himself into a full count here. Gunnar Henderson on deck. See him no matter what. After that would be Taylor Ward. Unless Alexander and Henderson both go down. But Alexander in a 3-2 count here against Will Warren will knock this one over into right field. That is down for a base hit. Fielded there by Trent Grisham, and that will stop Blaze Alexander at first base. But Alexander gets the second hit for the Baltimore Orioles. Bringing up Gunnar Henderson, who struck out in the top of the first inning to start the game. But now with a runner on first, has a chance to try and get a run back. But Alexander goes opposite field for the sharp single there. Nice work there for Blaze. So first non-homer based base runner for the Orioles. First guy that is lingering on base. Gunnar will ground the first pitch over to second. Fielded there by Jazz Chisholm. Throws over to first base, or second base is in time. First base not in time, so it is a fielder's choice there for Gunnar on the first pitch. He replaces Blaze Alexander at first. Now there are 2 down. So Chisholm to Caballero over to Goldschmidt. Gets Alexander out at second. Gunnar Henderson, who is very fast, is safe at first. Brings up Taylor Ward, who flew out, nearly had a home run in the first inning, but was caught at the wall by Aaron Judge on a leap. Certainly wouldn't mind another one of those hits that goes a little bit farther this time from Taylor Ward. Looks at ball 1 on a fastball outside. Windy night up there in the Bronx. The banners for the divisions are, the teams in each division are flying high. So the 1-0 to Taylor Ward from Will Warren on his 42nd pitch is down in there for strike 1 on a sinker. Ward has been a very patient hitter so far this season. Worked himself into a lot of deep counts. In a 1-1 count here. He will look at strike 2 outside. Called strike 2 on the sweeper. No challenge there. Orioles don't tend to challenge early anymore. Probably should have challenged that one. But it was pretty close, so I can understand why they don't challenge it. 1-2 to Ward is well outside for ball 2. Sinker that is just yanked out of there by Will Warren, who is, again, just given up 2 hits, no walks so far. Just the 1 home run to Alonso has been the only damage. Adley Rutschman on deck. Would certainly like to see him in this inning. Gunnar Henderson lingering at first base. Will he try to steal? He will not on this one. Ward will look at ball 3 on a sweeper that bends out and away. So Ward, who just always seems to find himself in full counts, is in another one right here. And Ward has walked a lot so far. So certainly wouldn't mind one here. Gets, I think, time called slightly by the umpire as Will Warren will reset on the mound. And instead, it is a strikeout for Taylor Ward on a sinker. That will end the inning. Just the 1 hit given up by Will Warren. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees up 5-1. Orioles get 1 hit and nothing more as they leave a runner stranded on first. So it'll be Chisholm, Caballero, and Wells up to bat again. The same start as last inning. As Povich looks to try and toss his first scoreless inning of the night. Gave up 1 in the first and 4 in the second. Caballero knocked him for a solo shot. Ben Rice got him for 3 runs, both on homers. So all the runs have been scored on homers. So, or no, sorry. The first run was not, for the first run for the Yankees was not scored on a homer. It was, that was a Cody Bellinger RBI double / triple, whatever you want to call it. But 3 of the 4 run scoring plays were all homers. The Rams decline Emmanuel Forbes' 5th-year option, so I think they're still they still have him on their team. But unsurprisingly, Forbes I don't think is going to get retained by the Rams anytime soon, given how not good of a player he is, unfortunately. Solid Ron Rivera draft pick right there. Just very, yeah. So bottom of the 3rd here, showing Pete Alonso there at first base. Has not got too much action, has Pete. First pitch to Chisholm is up high and in for ball one on a sinker there from Cade Povich. Chisholm struck out his last time up. Really long bottom of the second inning because it included, multiple home runs, had the challenge there with Austin Wells on the hit on the knob of the bat. Next pitch is in there for strike one on a sinker that hits the top of the zone. So it's probably like half hour almost, maybe or like 20-minute second inning there. So hopefully it's a shorter one here for Cade Povich. 1-1 to Chisholm is Ben's in there for strike two with a curveball. So Povich pitching well so far against Jazz. Has missed really one pitch against him. And that was just well inside. This one is a slider down and away, which got Chisholm swinging for the strikeout last time. That one wasn't quite as good, so the Jazz does not chase after that one. 2-2 here. Melanie Newman still talking about Pete Alonso since, he's back in New York and all that. Meanwhile, the 2-2 to Chisholm is high for ball three with a fastball. Little inside Chisholm, maybe, he bends out of the way, maybe embellishes it. I don't know. It was definitely inside, so I can understand it a little bit. I had a big old yawn right there. So Chisholm in a full count now will ground this one back over, basically a swinging bunt. Povich will throw him out at first base. That is really close, but it was pretty much a swinging bunt up the first base side. Povich is able to range over and make the play, though Chisholm certainly wants the Yankees to challenge this. I think they will, maybe? I think they will. Looks like they are. Yes, the Yankees are challenging this to see if Chisholm beat out the throw. Was a chopper that spins away from Basayo, so he doesn't have a chance to get there. This is going to be really close. And Chisholm is safe from the looks of it. So this will almost certainly be overturned. Shouldn't be nearly as long as the other challenge. But Orioles have won a challenge. The Yankees will almost certainly. Yankees will win a challenge here. So Chisholm gets the infield single there. So if it was Povich was a righty, probably could have gotten to that ball sooner and maybe I would have gotten Chisholm out. But Chisholm's also a very speedy guy, so not super surprising that he's able to beat out the throw there. So leadoff man on for the New York Yankees. First time actually this game. Both first and second innings saw Povich get the first batter out of the inning. Instead, it is Jazz Chisholm who is lingering over at first base. This one to Jose Caballero, who hit a home run back in the second inning, is a strike with a curveball that bends in there. Caballero wearing bright neon yellow batting sleeves and socks, or at least a sock, will knock this one over to Gunnar Henderson short. That is an out at second and an out at first, so double play there for Jose Caballero. Erases the base runners and gets 2 outs. So Povich certainly happy about that. Leaves the bases empty for Austin Wells and 2 outs. So I guess that is the 6th double play Jose Caballero has grounded into this season. Albert Suarez looking like he's going to start warming up for the Orioles in the bullpen. One of the usual long men, especially in the lower leverage situations. That curveball is up by the head of Austin Wells, as there has been a couple of those so far to lefties that Povich has lost control of. Luckily, he has not hit anyone yet, but that was kind of the pitch that clonked the bat of Austin Wells back in the second inning that led to the challenge because they thought it was hit by pitch. This pitch is just clipped the outside part of the zone, potentially. Strike one, no matter what, on a fastball. Wells struck out back in the second inning here. 63 pitches for Povich, giving up 5 runs. That slider is down and away for ball 2. So Wells in a favorable count here at the moment. Batting lefty here against the lefty Cade Povich. Catcher for the New York Yankees against the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Swings through a fastball for strike 2. Up above the zone, Wells is under it. So Povich gets himself back into the count here and is a strike away from getting out of the inning with no damage. Certainly like that. Then need the bats to wake up for the Orioles. Now that the 2-2 to Wells is just outside with a curveball for ball 3. So full count here for Austin Wells. Almost said Tyler Wells, but that is a different Wells. That is a Wells on the Orioles. Trent Grisham on deck for the Yankees. Doubled back in the second inning. And was scored on the Ben Rice 3-run home run. The 67th pitch for Cade Povich on the full count to Austin Wells, however, is up next. It is grounded past Povich, but right up to Gunnar Henderson at short. He's shaded basically behind the second base bag. So that is a 1-2-3 inning, aided by the double play for Cade Povich. First scoreless inning for Povich tonight. Brings the Orioles back up to bat will be Rutschman, Alonso, and Basayo. Alonso, the lone run scorer for the Orioles at the moment, had that solo shot back at the top of the second inning. Back when the score was 1-1. It was so much nicer back then. But between Rutschman and Basayo, especially Rutschman, the guys who have been hitting well as of late, and if Alonso can, start to string things together a bit more, this is the part of the order you want to see for the Orioles. But obviously that is very much dependent on how they hit against Will Warren, who has been pitching well so far, as expected, for this Yankees pitching staff that has overall been pitching incredibly well to start the season. It's also the first game in May for teams. April concludes with the Yankees, Rays, and Athletics as the only 3 teams in the American League that are above 500. National League much better on average than the AL. Dodgers still playing very well. It's actually the Braves that are the best team in baseball at the moment. Padres also doing well. Basically everyone in the NL Central is doing well. It's very National League oriented season so far. I don't know why I'm getting so tired. I mean, I did play golf today, but so there's a looked like a bullpen call for the Orioles in the dugout at the moment. Not sure if we'll see Povich back out in the fifth inning or not. Don't know yet. For now, though, it is in the fourth inning because it's top of the fourth. So the top of the fourth here for Adley Rutschman, who struck out back in the first inning. Looks at strike 1 on a sweeper at the top of the zone. Warren up to 6 strikeouts already on the night. Throws ball 1 on a curveball below the zone. Again, Rutschman, the guy you want to kind of start this game out, or start the rally for the Orioles, so to speak. Been probably their best hitter as of late. 49th pitch to Rutschman here is knocked over. Fielded there by Jose Caballero, who throws Rutschman out by a step there at first base. Slow grounder, just right of second base. Caballero is able to get to it first, and Adley, not exactly the speediest guy, is thrown out at first on the ground out. So Caballero with a nice play there, gets Adley out by just a step. Is really close, but isn't out nonetheless. Brings up Pete Alonso, who homered back in the second inning. Will knock this first pitch foul at the plate on a sinker. So he's in an 0-1 count at the moment. But again, he's off to a slow start, is Pete Alonso, but the power is starting to creep back in. Obviously, we've already seen it tonight. The 0-1 to Alonso is knocked high over in the air. That is not going to get out. Not even close. Judge ranges over, just barely able to not get there. That ball lands foul. So it is a foul ball there for Pete Alonso instead. 0-2 count. It's just any ball that's getting knocked over in a right field, I'm gonna start getting excited about because of how short the porch is over there. Just how short the right field wall is essentially. So 0-2 here for Pete Alonso. 51 pitches now for Will Warren through 3 1/3. Alonso will take his time as well. So after a little bit of excitement with potential foul out for Pete, it's back up to bat here in the 0-2 count. Basayo on deck. Alonso will knock this one high in the air. That is going to be behind home plate and get out of play. So we will go again. Again, still no balls yet thrown to Pete Alonso. That he has taken, I should say. So 53rd pitch to Alonso is in the dirt for ball 1 on the curveball. Good eye there for Pete. Looking to get on base for the second time tonight and try and be the third hit for the Orioles. In the 1-2 hole here at the moment, will knock this one out of play and foul on a sweeper. So Warren basically been pitching well to everyone else, save for Alonso. That could certainly change here, but Alonso looking to try and put something together. 1-2 to Alonso is spiked in the dirt for ball 2 with a curveball. So there's been a couple of breaking balls that have not been competitive at all. I've netted, or I've bumped this count back up to 2-2. Couple foul balls for Alonso as well. Also took a strike looking. 2-2 to Alonso is knocked over to Jose Caballero at shortstop. He will throw out Pete Alonso easily at first base. That is 2 up, 2 down here for Will Warren in the top of the 4th. At least for Pete Alonso, he did work the pitch count a decent amount against Will Warren. So it'll be pitch 57 to Samuel Basayo, who's coming off his bat. Basayo struck out on a changeup back in the 2nd inning. So Basayo will take ball 1 on a curveball outside. Basayo, a man with a lot of power. The average has not quite caught up yet, but he's still very young. Looks at strike 1 on a fastball well in there. 1-1 now is the count. O's need 4 runs to tie at the moment here in the top of the 4th. Next pitch is just below the zone with a changeup. The O's will be playing a lot of AL East opponents soon, as Basayo will knock this one high into the air over into shallow left field. That is Ahmed Rosario over at third base, making the play in left field for a 1-2-3 4th inning for Will Warren. As we move on to the bottom of the 4th, Yankees 5, Orioles 1. All right, so out of town scoreboard. The Buffalo Sabres are up 2-0 over the Boston Bruins. Over in hockey, Buffalo leads that series 3-2. Red Sox have come back over the Astros at the moment. They're now up 3-1. Jaron Duran had a 3-run home run, and Runners on second and third. Nobody out there in the bottom of the fourth for Boston as well. So the Tigers have actually got 3 back over the Rangers. They're still down 1, but which Perez are you? You are nope, not Spencer Torkelson. Wenzel Perez, 2-run single, and then Howie Lee had a single RBI single. Those are the 3 runs there for the Tigers. Brewers up 4-0 now over the Nats. Luis Rengifo, RBI fielder's choice. And then Tyler Black, RBI double. Pirates and Reds just got underway after that rain delay. Phillies up 2-1 over the Marlins as Povich is back out there to pitch. 67 pitches at the moment. I got the hiccups all of a sudden. First pitch to Trent Grisham is strike 1 with a slider. Alec Boehm, RBI single, and then Justin Crawford, also RBI. Grisham takes ball 1 on a pitch just low. Crawford was a double, RBI double. That's what it was. That curveball is just high for ball 2. Rays up 2-0 now over the Giants as well. Junior Caminero solo home run to extend the lead there. Cardinals and Dodgers are playing now. Blue Jays, Twins, and then both of them are also playing. Grisham will knock this one high into shallow right field. That is Blaze Alexander. Actually, on the infield, will make the out there. So not even to the outfield was that pop up, but well high, well short. So leadoff man is retired, though I don't know if that's a good thing given how Povich is performing, since the one time he didn't get the leadout runner on, he didn't allow a runner, or didn't allow a score in that inning. The first and second where he did get the leadout runner on was a shutdown inning after a ground ball double play. Paul Goldschmidt in an 0-1 count will check his swing on a curveball for ball 1. Goldschmidt 0 for 1 with a walked on 4 pitches last time he was up to allow Ben Rice to show up and hit a 3-run home run to break this game open. There's ball 2 on a curveball below the zone that Goldschmidt does not go after. Goldschmidt, the former St. Louis Cardinal, longtime Cardinal if I remember correctly. And a favorable count here, 2-1 against Povich. That is strike 2 with a fastball that hits the bottom of the zone. Nice pitch there. So Goldschmidt was on the team last year, returned this year in free agency. Hasn't quite been great hitting wise, though he will ground this one over to third base, fielded by Kobe Mayo, throws it over first for out number 2. So the offensive struggles for Goldschmidt do continue a good bit there as he goes down. First 2 down in the inning for Cade Povich here in the bottom of the 4th. Brings up the home run hitter, Ben Rice, who is 1 for 2. Has, at the moment, put this game out of reach for the Orioles as he hit that 3-run home run there in the second inning. First pitch is grounded over to Pete Alonso at first, fields it cleanly, throws over to Cade Povich, and that is an out there. So Povich with back-to-back shutdown innings against the Yankees, though obviously the first 2 were the more prevalent ones, but brings the Orioles offense back up to the plate at least. So I'm going to rest my eyes for a hot second because I'm, for some reason, very drowsy at the moment. All right, it should be, I believe, Beavers, Tavares, and Mayo up to bat. Beavers and Mayo, both strikeout victims of Will Warren, who has 6 on the night so far. So the O's will be playing. Who are they playing after this? I don't remember. I know they play the Athletics next weekend. I should be streaming that A's game because I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next weekend is also Mother's Day. I know that. I don't know. Will who do the Orioles play in between the Yankees and the A's? Because I'm now very curious because I do not remember. I don't think it was a division rival for the Orioles. It is Marlins. That's who it is. They go to Miami and then they come back and host the A's and then the Yankees after that for their long stretch of games in a row without off day. Strike one to strike one Dylan Beavers. Beavers will knock the next pitch out over into left field. Caught in left field by Cody Bellinger for out number 1. So Warren is outside of the Pete Alonso home run, has been pitching very efficiently. Not super surprising given how well the Yankees as a whole have been pitching so far this season. Brings up Leody Taveras, who I believe is a switch hitter, actually. We'll look at ball 1 on a changeup outside. So 1-0 here from Warren to Taveras. Strike 1 called, was probably a little low with the changeup, but called a strike nonetheless. Might have clipped the zone at some point. But Warren yet to throw an inning where he has thrown more than 19 pitches. Gets Leody to not swing. Check swing there for ball 2 with a fastball just above the zone. But Tavares, the new number 30 in Baltimore after Cedric Mullins left. Actually, no, Mullins was 31, now that I think about it. Tavares, number 30, will knock this one high into shallow left field. Bellinger will make the play easily there. So 2 straight flyouts to Cody Bellinger to start the top of the 5th inning. 2 quickly down for the Orioles as well. We'll bring up Kobe Mayo, who struck out last time he was up. So O's looking to try and win a game or 2 here in the Bronx to try and remain around 500. First game is not going well there as Mayo swings through a sweeper there for strike 1. So Mayo, who struck out last time he was up, struggling right now at the plate, will knock this one out and foul. So he's in an 0-2 hole at the moment as well. Jeez. I don't know why I'm so drowsy at the moment. I shouldn't be, but I am for some reason. So there's a quick reprieve there, and we're back to the 0-2. Jacoby Mayo, and it is swung on and missed on a sweeper outside the zone. I could have predicted that exact result from the start of this at bat. That is every single time Mayo swings and misses is that in one of those pitches. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, I tell you. I don't know how many times the Orioles have to have good hitting prospects that just absolutely demolish in AAA, show up and then have no idea how to hit a baseball in the slightest. It's very, very annoying, to say the least. And you got what, like Cowser as well. He's the other big culprit. People were saying Adley for a bit, but that was not correct. Adley's always been. I mean, well, he had a couple bad stretches here and there, but when he's on, he hits well. It's just like the Orioles. They've had a ton of prospects because they suck for so long, and were able to draft really high for so long. So they have a ton of highly touted prospects. And they've traded away a couple here and there, like Grayson Rodriguez to the Angels for Taylor Ward, or why am I blank? Okay, Kyle Sowers and Connor Normie to the Marlins for Trevor Rogers. And then like DL Hall and Joey Ortiz to the Brewers that was for Corbin Burns back in the day. Yeah, I mean the Orioles have a lot of talent, it feels like, but they have not been able to quite unlock that talent all the time, and it's a little frustrating. But we'll see what happens. So Albert Suarez into the game here in the bottom of the fifth. 4 games played, 1-for-1 in saves actually. Throws first pitch ball to Aaron Judge. Suarez was a unknown find for the Orioles back in 2024. Pitched actually pretty well for them that year and has been more of a long man rotational guy in the bullpen past couple of years. Throws strike one to Aaron Judge there. So Suarez actually had gotten DFA'd by the team not too long ago, but is now back and pitching in the majors. Throws ball 2. So 2-1 here from Albert Suarez to Aaron Judge. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. I wish it was strike 3, but no, it's strike 2. And I'm dozing off there for a sec. I got hit by a wave of exhaustion at the moment from I didn't get too much sleep, unfortunately. So it's a little tired. The 2-2 from Suarez to Judge is high for ball 3. Judge does not swing. So I apologize. My commentary is not as enthusiastic as it normally is, or as coherent as well. Obviously, the current result of the game does not help with my lack of enthusiasm. Reach to the Judge is swung on a miss. Strike 3 with a cutter. Nice work there. Albert Suarez gets Aaron Judge down on a strikeout. First batter retired there in the inning for Albert Suarez. So Suarez picking up right where he left off last couple weeks, really. And Cody Bellinger, who's 2 for 2 on the day, will chop this changeup at home plate and foul. So Bellinger with, I think they're calling it 2 doubles. Don't know if they're calling it triple, I guess. Or no, he had a home run as well. Or no, never mind. I'm reading the RBI category, not the home run category. Again, drowsiness. But anyway, 0-1 from Suarez to Bellinger, righty on righty, or righty on lefty batter. That one is high for ball 1. So yeah, they're calling it 2 doubles there for Cody Bellinger. That double back in the first inning that hit back in the first inning is called double, not a triple, even though Bellinger was able to get to first base. Took ball 2 as well, so he's in a 2-1 count at the moment. Two 1-2. Bellinger is swung on and missed with a 4-seamer for strike 2. So Povich had 4 strikeouts in 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 walks, all earned, or five runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. There is strike 3 looking for Cody Bellinger, clips the outside part of the zone. So back-to-back strikeouts for Albert Suarez in his first inning in relief. So it has a four-seam fastball that might have been ball 4. It was very close. I would have been interested to see challenge box-wise where that ended up. Ahmed Rosario, who struck out both times he was up, both times to end innings as well, is up now. Looks at ball 1 on a curveball just below the zone. Next pitch is fouled behind home plate, 1-1. Well, Nova keeps telling me to update my computer, and I probably should, but I don't want to restart my computer at the moment. I have too many tabs open. 1-1 to Rosario is outside for ball 2 with a cutter. So I'm curious to see how the Orioles are going to manage their bullpens. They did have their closer, Ryan Helsley, go down with right shoulder inflammation earlier today. So a bullpen that has been actually really good so far. It does lose their ace in the hole. That is ball 3 to Ahmed Rosario as well. My guess is they're going to just slot Rico Garcia in there because he's been their best reliever outside of Helsley. And I'm actually, honestly, might even be a bit better than Helsley at the moment in terms of performance. 3-1 to Rosario is swung on and missed with a fastball in the dirt. So Rosario swings at ball 4, does not make contact though. So now a full count here for Ahmed, who again has struck out both times he was up against Cade Povich. Will get a piece of that four-seamer off the end of the bat for foul ball, but remains in the batter's box. So Suarez in the full count here will get pitch timer violation on Albert Suarez. So that is a pitch time violation walk on Big Al. And that will bring up Jazz Chisholm Jr. So Rosario, 2 strikeouts and a walk on the night at the moment. So pitch timer violations, not something you see of as often anymore in baseball, just because people have gotten used to the pitch clock now. This is what, year 3, I think? Year 4? I think it's year 4 with pitch clock. Chisholm takes strike 1 as well. So he's in an 0-1 count at the moment. That one is outside for ball 1. So Chisholm in a decent count here at the moment with Ahmed Rosario at first base. That is just below the zone with a changeup for ball 2. Just barely. A lot of sharp break on that changeup for Albert Suarez, brother of Robert Suarez, current closer on the Atlanta Braves, the major league leading Atlanta Braves, as their strike 2 with a fastball well in the zone. Chisholm is not happy about it for some reason. I guess because he has no idea what a strike zone is. It makes sense. But Jazz 1 for 6 on ABS challenges at the moment. Will knock this one over into left field right at Taylor Ward. So he has to barely move. And that is the end of the 5th inning, as Suarez automatically walks a batter due to a pitch timer violation. But other than that, gets 3 outs, as the Orioles will be back up to bat. Blaze Alexander, Gunnar Henderson, and Taylor Ward are your batters for the top of the 6th inning. I might go take a nap after this for an hour and then go and work on other stuff after. So out of town scoreboard once more. Red Sox still up 3-1 over the Astros. Rangers still up 4-3 over the Tigers. Pirates up 1-0 now over the Reds now that game's underway. Brian Reynolds with a solo shot there. Brewers still up 4-0 over the Nationals. Phillies still up 2-1 over the Marlins. Yeah, that's right. Rays up 3-0 now over the Giants, who just recently got swept by the Phillies. So Chandler Simpson, sac fly, got that third run there. Cardinals up 3-0 over the Dodgers, like that. Let's see. Herrera. Ivan Herrera scored. Walker to third. Just as scored. Doesn't say anything else. Don't see an RBI as well, so yeah, I have no idea how Herrera scored there, but Nolan Gorman also had a 2 RBI or a 2-run homer. That's what it was. Blaze Alexander singled back last time he was up. Takes strike 1 on a changeup. Also, the Blue Jays are up 2-0 over the Twins. And RBI fielder's choice. Then an extra run scored on that due to a throwing error. Let's see, what is your Yohendrick Pinago got that started. Alexander grounds this over to shortstop. Caminero throws him out at first. So Warren has been cruising very easily after that Pete Alonso home run. Gets out number 1 here in the top of the 6th. Flips the order back around to Gunnar Henderson, who's 0 for 2 on the night. Top of the order for the Orioles, top 3 of all 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Strike 1 to Gunnar Henderson as well on a sinker that just clips the bottom right corner of the zone. Not a good night for the Orioles hitting-wise so far, as that is ball 1 on a changeup well below the zone, courtesy of Will Warren. So Henderson is grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. 1-1 count here for Gunnar. He will knock this one out of play and foul on a fastball up at the top of the zone. So 74 pitches now for Will Warren through 5 1/3. That is a strikeout there for Gunnar Henderson. He goes down looking on a sinker that hits the bottom of the zone. So, not a good night for Gunnar. I think Henderson was expecting that to be something else than it actually was. Does not even attempt to swing at the strike. Brings up Taylor Ward. Takes ball 1. That first ball was high. So Ward has flown out and struck out. We'll knock this one out of play. Again, Ward was inches away from a homer his first time up. And it's kind of been all downhill since for the Orioles. That's outside the Alonso home run. It's been pretty much all downhill. 1-1 to Ward is chopped foul over by the third base side. So Warren 1 strike away from getting his 9th strikeout of the night. Currently on 78 pitches. My guess is this will not be his last. Maybe it'll be his last inning. I don't think it will, but maybe. If Ward is able to, if he gets Ward out here, essentially. That ball is up kind of by the face with a fastball that gets away from him, so that is ball 2. Ward just has to look away briefly. So Adley Rutschman is on deck should Taylor Ward reach, which he is good at doing, though he is 0 for 2 tonight. In a 2-2 count here, he looks at strike 3. It is called. Oh, no, it's Wasn't called. It is going to be overturned to strike 3, though. This is going to be strike 3 looking on Taylor Ward off the ABS challenge. So that will end the inning 1-2-3. A couple more strikeouts for Will Warren as he pitches a gem here for New York. Through 80 pitches, has 9 strikeouts, just 2 hits, and 1 run for the Orioles. That should bring up Junior Caballero. Or sorry, no, that's Jose Caballero, not Junior Caballero. Actually, pretty similar last names. But yeah, Jose Caballero, Austin Wells, and Trent Grisham, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Orioles. Or sorry, the Yankees. Again, a little tired at the moment. As we get to the bottom of the 6th. And just gotta hope that the Yankees bullpen is not as good as Will Warren has been so far tonight. Since it has not been a fun journey for the Orioles bats. It's going rough for them. Oh, cool. Resi 9 is on Switch too. Nice. I feel like Resi 9 was good, but I haven't heard too much about it. Yeah, NBA and NHL playoffs are going on at the moment. Who does it all run? Oh, Jared Durant. I was like, who are these people in their green uniforms? Are they the Athletics? But now it's a replay of the Red Sox in their like Green Monster City Connects with Jared Durant's 3-run home run. So what I'm going to be happy about though is that Mall Shadow Lords finale is coming out in a couple days. I would also like to be happy to see the Orioles win a game here in the Bronx. Tonight does not look like it, as Albert Suarez is back out to pitch through 22 pitches in the 5th inning. Throws ball 1 to Jose Caballero here. Has hit a home run and grounded into a double play. Has Caballero. The 1-0 count here is swung on and missed with a fastball above the zone for strike number 1. The 1-1 from Suarez to Caballero is just high. Well, a little bit more than just high, actually. That was a good bit high for ball 2. Caballero does not swing at it. Suarez, big dude, very tall, older guy. Took a roundabout way to get to the majors. Played a lot in Japan and Korea as Caballero grounds this one foul. But Suarez was kind of on his last legs of his career. He felt like took a waiver essentially, or like took a chance with the Orioles. Orioles took a chance with him as well. Brought him in back in 2024, and he turned into a really nice starting pitcher for them back in 2024. Has moved into the bullpen more as of late, but he is still very solid as as Caballero fouls that pitch away for strike 2. But yeah, Suarez, who again is brother of Ranger Suarez, has found new life for the Orioles in his baseball career. 2-2 to Caballero here is swung on a miss. Strike 3 on a fastball. So Suarez gets his 3rd strikeout of the night through 1 1/3 innings. So that's like almost all of his outs so far have been on strikeouts. More than half, at least. Gets Caballero out of the batter's box. Austin Wells takes ball 1 on a changeup. Wells 0 for 2 on the night, has struck out and grounded out. Next pitch to Wells is in there for strike one. Getting real drowsy again. Next pitch is a ball to Wells outside Suarez's 30th pitch. So Wells, the lefty, working against Suarez, the righty. 2-1 here is knocked high into the air into left field, foul territory. That will just stay in. Kobe May was able to make the play. Looked like that was going to get out, but actually just stayed in play. That is out number 2. And yeah, Mayo was able to just barely have enough room for the foul out there. We'll bring up Trent Grisham. 1 for 2 on the night with a double. So Albert Suarez, so far, pitching pretty well. Grisham attempts to bunt and pops that one over the third base dugout. So, I mean, if you're struggling, I guess, any way you can try to get on. Makes sense. But yeah, definitely important for the Orioles to have Suarez go a good bit and try not to have this game get too out of reach given the state of their bullpen. That ball is well high for ball 1. But given that Orioles had to play a doubleheader literally the game before this and use a lot of their relievers, and also with Ryan Helsley going down with right shoulder inflammation, he's on the 15-day IL. That bullpen is pretty beleaguered at the moment. That fastball is fouled away for strike 2 by Grisham. So the middle 2 games of the series are going to be day games over the weekend. And then Monday's game is going to be a night game. This game, obviously, also a night game. Suarez in a 1-2 favor here against Grisham. That one is high. All right, I'd say 1-2 advantage. Now it's a 2-2 even split there in the count. Again, Suarez is still 1 strike away from getting Trent Grisham out, but has to get him out first with a strike. 2-2 is high for ball 3. Another fastball there from Suarez. Throws a lot of those. Seeing a couple changeups as well. I feel like it's been a lot of four-seamers and changeups from Albert Suarez. Full count pitch to Grisham is knocked high in the air, but shallow. That will be Gunnar Henderson calling off Kobe Mayo. He catches it right past the infield for out number 3. So Suarez with a shutout inning there. O's have been able to hold off the Yankees after that second inning. It was, again, just the second inning was the 4-run blister. It's the O's offense that needs to wake up. Warren most likely out to pitch again. He's only through 80 pitches at the moment. And when I say through in that case, I mean spelling it THE or REW, not, like past tense of throw, not any relation to through. The what preposition? I think it's a preposition. It's been way too long since I've took a grammar class. But I guess you could also say Will Warren has thrown 80 pitches right now. Gets you kind of the same idea, same general principle over. Gotta love how the English language works. It's a pain sometimes. I'm impressed people are able to learn this and not be utterly confused, because the English language is, I don't know, it's got some quirks to it. But I feel like every language does. Dozing off again here. Getting a Geico commercial with the like college shirts and stuff. So now they're showing some nice scenery of New York and Yankee Stadium and some replays and stuff of the few times the Orioles have hit well or just played well at all so far this game. So it's a lot of showing Pete Alonso's home run. Aaron Boone doing his usual pose of leaning on the dugout in one knee and chewing on something, in this case, bubble gum. Boone is also a lover of sunflower seeds, to say the least. He's a big fan of those, from what I can tell. So Rutschman, Alonso, and Basayo are the bats for the Orioles here. Again, pretty good combo there to try and get the party started. Well, 80 pitches for Will Warren will most likely be his last inning no matter what. Ball one there to Adley Rutschman on a fastball that runs out and away. Rutschman has struck out looking and grounded out into a fielder's choice. Or, well, actually, just a ground out. 6-3 ground out. That's what it was. Rutschman will pop this one out over to foul territory in third base. That is caught by Ahmed Rosario. Adley is 0 for 3. So Pete Alonso's up to bat. And the only guy who has done any damage to Will Warren so far takes a fastball just below the zone for ball one. Grounded out his last time up. Looking for hit number 2 here against Warren. Looks at ball 2 low on a sinker. It's showing a Mets fan there in the crowd, no doubt looking to watch Pete, I would assume at least. Probably also there to watch the rest of the game, but, you know, Alonso was Mr. Met for a little while. That's a sweeper that breaks in there for strike 1. Definitely a bit of a hanging breaking ball, but the count was in favor of Alonso, so he does not go after it. But still only 2 hits at the moment for the Orioles as Alonso swings through a sweeper there for strike 2. Most of the O's have been blanked so far. It's just homer for Alonso and single for Blaze Alexander. No doubles yet for the Orioles or triples. That is ball 3 on a curveball that skips up in the dirt. So full count now for Pete Alonso with Samuel Basayo on deck. Has struck out and pop out has Sam. Will be the 88th pitch here for Will Warren working against Pete Alonso. It is outside for ball 4. So Alonso takes a walk. First walk for the Orioles tonight. So Orioles get a base runner. One of the bench coaches for the Yankees is on the phone with the bullpen. So the bullpen for the Yankees is getting warm with Will Warren at 88 pitches at the moment. Samuel Basayo up to bat. Will look at ball 1 on a fastball high. Fernando Cruz warming in the bullpen for the Yankees. Warren's velocity is also dipping as well with his deep performance at the moment. That one is just below the zone, called strike 1. Basayo's going to challenge and win the challenge here as a changeup. Actually, I think a sinker actually below the zone. This is going to be ball 2. Well below, like good, more than an inch from the looks of it. 2.5 inches actually below the zone, so that is easily a ball. So 2-0 here for Basayo on 90 pitches now from Will Warren. Basayo looks at strike 1. That is a sweeper that bends in there. Basayo does not offer at it. But one swing here from Basayo could make this game interesting. I'd just prefer to get him on base in some capacity and not through a fielder's choice. Just keep the chain moving pretty much as Warren will step off here. So disengagement for Will Warren there. I guess he has 2 left before the balk. So Will Warren will throw the next pitch. It is low with a changeup for ball 3. So very favorable count here for Samuel Basayo, as I've kind of woken up a little bit here to pay attention. Dylan Beavers on deck for the Orioles as well. So 92 pitches now for Will Warren here through 6 and a third. Pete Alonso at first. 3-1 count for Samuel Basayo. Basayo will not swing and a miss. Threw a sweeper there for strike 2. Now falls back into a full count. Again, a bit of a hanging breaking ball, but it was on the outside part of the zone. Basayo just misses it slightly. So full count now for Will Warren. For Samuel Basayo against Will Warren. Basayo will knock this one back up into center field. That will get down for a base hit and off the glove of Grisham. That is an error on Grisham. That is going to get Alonso over to third base. Basayo will get second on the error by Trent Grisham. So a single for Basayo nets into an error that advances both him and Alonso to second and third and 1 out. I mean, my guess is they're going to count this as an error because it was in Grisham's glove and then just popped right out. That looked like a sinker that just did not sink. And Basayo fights that off back into center field and is just right off of Grisham's glove, who's definitely not been known for his stellar defense in center field. That will do it for Will Warren as well. So he leaves 2 on the base. Fernando Cruz is immediately brought into the game here as Dylan Beavers, unless the Orioles decide to pinch hit. It is Dylan Beavers listed with runners on second and third and only 1 out. Oops, sorry about that. Box score has not adjusted to the fact that Samuel Basayo was able to get to second base. So the Orioles, not necessarily putting on a rally because they obviously have not scored yet, but at least making things interesting here in the top of the 7th as they finally reach the Yankees bullpen, which I assume has also been playing pretty well. I would have to assume, at least. I don't know how well their bullpen ranks. Let me actually see if I can just look up bullpen rankings 2026. Let's do covers.com. Don't know if you're... It might be a betting place. ERA. Let's see, Yankees. Where are the Yankees? I don't see them at all. Okay, website, please. Where are the Yankees? I don't see them at all here. Okay, if I just go to the AL. Oh, it's just that because I'm looking for the New York logo, not the the red, white, and blue logo. Okay, so they have their bullpen's 3.79 ERA. I don't know exactly when this is updated, but it has 9 saves, which I think tracks. So they're lower. So I'd say in like the top half. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like they are the 10th best bullpen in terms of ERA, according to this chart that I'm looking at least. Giving up 10 home runs at the moment. Fernando Cruz, 14 games pitched, 3.27 ERA, 11 innings pitched, 1.64 whip, opponents hitting 220 batting average, 15.5 strikeouts per 9, 7.4 walks per 9. It's given up 2 home runs. So Fernando Cruz throws a splitter as his main pitch. There it is right there. So Fernando Cruz, apparently his walk-up song or his entrance song is The Circle of Life from The Lion King. Throws splitter more than half the time. Splitter, four-seamer, slider, and sinker. But basically just throws a splitter most of the time. Threw it for a ball against Dylan Beavers here. Lefty Beavers against the righty Cruz. There is a four-seamer that is in there for strike 1. Just clips the bottom of the zone there. There we go. All right, now it's updated. So Beavers with a chance to make this game interesting again in a 1-1 count here. First base is open at the moment. Beavers 0 for 2 on the night. Will swing through a splitter there for strike 2. Splitter is kind of like looks like a soft splitter there. Like the drop is more slightly loopier than I think some other splitters that have like a hard drop to them, where they just fall straight down. But that one certainly got Beavers swinging and missing there in a 1-2 hole at the moment. My guess is the splitter is going to come here again. It is. Beavers checks. Does he go? No. Holds up just barely on the splitter that is below the zone for ball 2. So he stays alive. It was, again, the splitter. Aaron Boone is just chewing through some sunflower seeds at the moment as he looks on stoically from the Yankees dugout. 2-2 for Dylan Beavers. I'm going to assume it's another splitter here. It is, as Beavers chops this one, basically a swinging bunt. The throw home is not going to be thrown home. Instead, it is an out at first base. So Beavers gets the RBI ground out. So productive out there for Dylan Beavers. The throw home probably would not have been in time from Fernando Cruz because there's no force out. Looks like there might have been a slider. I think it was a slider from Cruz that Beavers just beats into the dirt. And Wells is signaling for Cruz to throw it to first because it was... The Yankees can afford giving up one run. I'm sure Will Warren is not happy about it. That Taveras will knock this one over into shallow right field. That will be caught by Aaron Judge. So Orioles strand one, but do score one. So the lead is now just 3 for the Yankees as we move on to the bottom of the 7th inning. So O's do get one back. Would have liked more, but I'll take 1. It's not the worst outcome, but it could have been better as Taveras looped that one out on the first pitch. So Taveras 0 for 3. Will be Mayo, Alexander, and Henderson after that, though could certainly see a defensive substitution. Maybe see Jeremiah Jackson get subbed in, maybe for Blaze Alexander. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe also Kobe Mayo, and then they bumped Blaze over to third, Jackson over to second. If Craig Alvarez wants to do that. So my guess is we'll see Albert Suarez out for a 3rd inning, especially with how well he's pitching so far. Just because of the state of the bullpen. Should be, I think, actually I have no idea who's going to be up for the Yankees at this point. I want to say it's Goldschmidt, Rice, and Judge. I'm pretty sure it should be Goldschmidt, Rice, and Judge. I think it's top of the order there. That sounds right. So Yankees, Will Warren, that also finishes out his line. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. So I guess, because of the Grisham error, that's why it's an unearned run there. I guess that makes sense. I got Orioles Twitter just bitching about stuff that I just do not care about at all because they're just really annoying. All right, so we're back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Probably could have checked the out-of-town scoreboard as well, but yeah, all the O's fans on Twitter are dooming at the moment, which is always the worst time because they're just incredibly insufferable. So that's just is the most wonderful thing in the world. I don't know why I bother looking at that stuff because they're just the most miserable people on earth out there in the Orioles Twitter sphere. It's like one thing goes wrong. It's like I get the Orioles are not playing the best baseball right now. They're 15 and 16 and whatnot. Probably gonna lose this game. and fall to 15 and 17. But again, there's still be like a game out of a wild card spot in a really weak American League at the moment. And it's basically like everything sucks. Fire Michael Elias, fired, probably some people are saying fire Craig Alvarez, like DFA Calzer, DFA Mayo, DFA Brandon Young, DFA Povich. It's like, and everyone hates everything pretty much. And it's just the most insufferable people on earth on there that I just do not want to listen to. But my Twitter feed is like, hey, you like the Orioles, have all the negativity at the moment. And I just don't want that because it sucks. Not that I'm like trying to say that everything's, happy and peachy and all that in Baltimore, but I'd rather just do them on my own time and not just listen to people who have no idea what they're talking about do them because they're just stupid. I'm sorry, but I'm also not really sorry. So Albert Suarez back out to pitch, 38 pitches through 2 innings. No runs given up in those 2 innings. Faces Paul Goldschmidt here. Throws ball 1 on a cutter that kind of fades back inside. So top of the order for the Yankees, Goldschmidt, Rice, and Judge. Rice with that 3-run home run that really broke things open here as Goldschmidt will swing through a cutter there for strike 1. So Goldschmidt over 2 with a walk on the night. Suarez has been pitching well so far tonight. Will get Goldschmidt to fly over into deep right field, well, as deep as it can be in Yankee Stadium. That will be out number 1 as Dylan Beavers tracks it down. There's sort of not quite the warning track, but probably like 10 yards in front of the warning track and off to the side a little bit. That is out number 1 on the flyout. Rice 1 for 3 with that home run. Does have those 3 RBIs. Right now, the winning run as well is Ben Rice himself, I think. Right now, I guess he would be run number 4. So it would have been Goldschmidt was the winning run because he was the walk. And then Grisham would have been the first run of those 3 because he doubled, and then Goldschmidt walked, and then it was Rice who hit the home run. Ball 1 also to Ben Rice. Next pitch is ball 2 high with a fastball. 2-0 count for the power hitter. And first baseman, catcher, DH, that sort of ranging position there is what Ben Rice plays. I think largely more first base as of late. Rice will call time here as well. So Rice, who wears number 22 for the Yankees, batting lefty against the righty Suarez. This pitch is grounded over to second base, fielded there by Blaze Alexander, and thrown over to first for the out. Caught by Pete Alonso there, so that is quick 2 down for Albert Suarez here in the bottom of the 7th, who has been pitching very well in relief of Cade Povich. Does bring up Aaron Judge, who is always very hard guy to get out. 1 for 2 on the night with a walk. Has a walk and a single. Judge takes strike 1 on a fastball that is on the outside part of the zone. So tall height versus height here. Suarez, I don't know his specific height, but he is probably pretty similar to Judge. Maybe a little bit shorter, but Judge is obviously very, very tall. Suarez also pretty tall as well. Judge will knock this one out of play with a fastball, so he's in a quick 0-2 hole. But he walked in the first inning and scored. Singled in the second and got to third. Then struck out in the 5th inning. When Suarez first came in for relief. He's now seeing Suarez for a second time and is in danger of striking out again, is Aaron Judge. Showing, I think, Jeremiah Jackson on the bench at the moment. Could see him hit here. That fastball is well upstairs for ball 1. So Suarez is pondering what he wants to throw next, I think. Sayo with the pitch comm device on his knee pad inputs what he wants to throw. It is outside, and Judge fouls it off on a fastball that hung up a little bit. So all fastballs so far to Aaron Judge, which is a little surprising. I know Suarez does throw variations of breaking balls, has thrown a changeup a couple times tonight, but has definitely thrown a lot of fastball. I think he's trying to outpower Aaron Judge at the moment. 1-2 to Judge here. There's a breaking ball that is curveball that is well outside, spiked in the dirt over by the left fielder's or left-handed hitter's batting box. So not a competitive pitch there. Will be 50 pitches now for Suarez, looking for a strikeout on Judge for the second time here in the bottom of the 7th. Next pitch is curveball below the zone. Judge does not swing, so it is 3-2 now for Aaron Judge. Worked himself back into a full count. So he's been thrown four-seamer, cutter, changeup, and curveball. Mostly that four-seamer tonight. Next pitch is outside with a fastball for ball 4. So Judge will take a 2-out walk. From 0-2 to 4-2, we'll bring up Cody Bellinger, who is 2 for 3 on the night with a strikeout. But does have those 2 doubles. But again, Judge, not too worried about pitching around him because of how good of a hitter he is. Though with how Cody Bellinger's hitting tonight, it is a little worrisome. That is a changeup outside for ball 1. But would like to keep the score at 5-2 here. Try and give the O's a chance in the 8th and 9th, and also have the Yankees burn their setup and closer. That's a changeup outside as well for ball 2. So 2-0 here to Grisham as Suarez is struggling to find the strike zone over the last couple pitches. So Bellinger in a very favorable count at the moment. Will look at strike 1 as there was a brief attempt at a back pick by Basayo, but he does not throw it. Bellinger was not swinging whatsoever. He was taken all the way. Was a strike there on a changeup. Like Bellinger was basically just relaxed himself as the pitch came. This time he will take a fastball in for ball 3. So, who is that warming in the Yankees bullpen? That is Camilo Doval, as that is ball 4, I think, as Judge attempts a steal. I think it's going to be called ball 4 nonetheless. Yep, it was back-to-back walks. Might get an ABS challenge because Basayo, it was a steal attempt by Aaron Judge. He is safe there. I think Basayo also wanted to challenge the pitch. Obviously, it's tough. You can't immediately signal for a challenge when you're in the middle of trying to throw a runner out at second. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, Camilo Doval warming in the Yankees bullpen as well. Pitch might have clipped the top of the zone. Judge would be safe at second, I would assume. And yeah, I mean, Basayo doesn't immediately challenge it either. He does challenge it. It takes him a second after. And instead is going, I think is they're ruling that it was too late, so he could not challenge it. Might have been a strike. Instead, it is a walk. Suarez throws high to Ahmed Rosario, who's 0 for 2 with a walk here for ball 1. So Suarez, good first 2 batters against Goldschmidt and Rice, and has struggled now. Rosario will foul this cutter back behind home plate for strike 1. So Rosario, who struck out in the first and second innings, then walked in the 5th. Stranded runners on third base both times he struck out. Has runners on first and second here. Will line this one through the center field gap. That will bring in a run. Judge will race home. RBI single there for Ahmed Rosario. Makes it 6-2 as the Yankees get their run back. And Suarez, who was 1 strike away from getting out of the inning without allowing a base runner, is now allowed 3 straight and a run. That was a curveball outside of the zone, actually, that Rosario is able to get a piece on. And no one shaded up behind second base, so no chance there. Judge scores standing. First and second, 2 outs still, as it brings up Jazz Chisholm Jr. 1 for 3 on the night. We'll get Drew French talking with Albert Suarez, since the O's do not want to go to the bullpen at the moment. So they're talking about the fact that Messiah was late to challenge. So I think it was Messiah was just a couple seconds late on the challenge there. And it's one of the quirks of ABS is, first year with the system. And those plays are not super common on trying to challenge a pitch that is involved during a steal attempt. And it's usually the catcher is the one to challenge. So anyway, Chisholm will pop the first pitch up behind home plate and out of play for strike one. Suarez up to 60 pitches now. So throwing, I think, almost as many pitches as Cade Povich did for his start. Suarez, who's given up the 1 run to Povich's 5. That one is outside. Chisholm does not swing, so that is ball 1. So Chisholm strikeout, single, and then line out are his 3 at-bats. He's 1 for 3. He will look at ball 2 with a changeup, was probably strike 2. No challenge from Samuel or Albert. Albert could also challenge if he wanted to. So favorable count here for Chisholm, who can really put this game out of reach with a hit here. Takes ball 3 on a changeup outside. So Suarez was doing great. Now he's not. In danger of having things go really bad here. 3-1 to Chisholm is knocked high in the air. That will get out of play and run the count full. So a couple foul balls behind home plate, courtesy of Jazz. At least gets Suarez back in the count. I don't have to get some more water after this inning is over. So a full count now to Chisholm on the 65th pitch for Albert Suarez here is high for ball 4. So that loads the bases. So 3 walks now in the inning for Suarez, as well as the RBI single. Tyler Wells warming in the bullpen for the Orioles. Bring up Jose Caballero, who's 1 for 3, though does have a home run. Again, 1 strike away. And that will actually be the last batter of the inning for Albert Suarez, as Albernaz goes to the bullpen. And Tyler Wells will come in to try and keep the Orioles within at least, striking distance of the Yankees. Orioles Twitter continues to just be the absolute worst. Let's go check the out-of-town scoreboard at the moment. Bruins got a goal, so it's 2-1 Buffalo over Boston there in hockey. Elsewhere in baseball, Red Sox still up 3-1 over the Astros. Rangers up 5-4 over the Tigers there, so both teams scored a run. Riley Green with a RBI ground out, or RBI fielder's choice, tied it up there in the 5th. And then in the 8th, Marcelo Zuna RBI double to net the Rangers a lead, or get the lead back for the Rangers there. Pirates up 4-0 over the Reds now. Brian Reynolds RBI triple. So he's halfway to a cycle, I guess. Ryan O'Hearn RBI single, and then Henry Davis solo home run. Brewers up 6-1 over the Nationals now. Nats at least scored a run, but Brewers doing very well. Let's see, is that Tyler Black? I already got that one, actually. House with an RBI ground out. What is your first name? Brady House with an RBI ground out to get the first run for the Nats. Then William Contreras 2-run RBI. He needs to stop because I'm playing him in fantasy. He has like 30 points over the last 3 days. It's kind of annoying. Phillies up 2-1 over the Marlins. That has not changed still. Blue Jays up 4-2 over the Twins. So Byron Buxton 2-run home run, then Kazuma Okamoto solo homer, and then Yo Hendrick, Panago RBI single. He's had a couple of RBIs in there. Jose Caballero up to bat here for the Yankees. Cardinals up 4-1 over the Dodgers. Rockies up 6-0 over the Braves. That's a huge surprise right there. Rays won 3-0 over the Giants as well. So Caballero takes strike one on a slider that drops in there. So Wells, who did pitch yesterday in the doubleheader, as with pretty much everyone in the Orioles bullpen, it felt like. Bases loaded here, inherits that from Albert Suarez. Yankees have a chance to really put this game out of reach. Check swing foul from Caballero. Quick 0-2 hole. Wells, former starting pitcher for the Orioles a couple years ago, now converted into a reliever. He's been not necessarily a high leverage reliever type of guy, but is in a pretty decent leverage spot here given the circumstances. Has Caballero down 0-2 at the moment with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Next pitch is knocked up and away and foul. So we go again on the 0-2. So Wells, another very tall guy in the bullpen line. Pretty sure he's like 6'5", 6'6". He's really tall. Has a pretty good fastball. Throwing a lot of breaking balls at the moment to Caballero. And this is very big at the moment for Tyler Wells to try and get Caballero here. He will get Caballero to swing at a fastball, foul it up behind home plate. So we will go again. That fastball was above the zone. Caballero fights it off, stays alive here. So still 0-2 count through 4 pitches from Tyler Wells. He's thrown a couple fastballs, couple sliders. Caballero, the trade acquisition from the Rays back at the trade deadline last July. Looking to add on for the Yankees. He will knock this one over into left field. That will not get out of there. It will be caught by Taylor Ward. So Tyler Wells strands 3, ends the 7th. So the Yankees do get one back, but only one as the Orioles get up to bat here in the 8th inning. And I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it, but the Orioles bullpen has been really, really good at stranding inherited runners so far this season. Wells had stranded now 7 of 7 inherited runners on the season. So that is key to try and keep this game somewhat in reach for the Orioles. Obviously, they've only have 3 hits on the night, but this gives them a chance at least. That is what you want. It gives them a chance. So just wrap up scoreboard stuff. Phillies actually, no, that's still 3-1. Never mind. Cardinals, Dodgers. So Max Muncy RBI double, and then Alec Burleson solo home run. I like that because Burleson's on my fantasy team. And then Rockies, who were the 6 runners who scored there? Hunter Goodman hit a ground rule double, RBI ground rule double. What was her first name? TJ Rumfield with an RBI single. Tyler Freeman reached on a bunt single, RBI bunt single as well. And then this is 5 runs in the first inning. Wow. And then Castro, is this Willie Castro? Yeah. Willie Castro grounded out to first. Freeman scored on a throwing error by first baseman Olsen, and Rumfield scored. So RBI ground out, 2 runs scored on an error there. Then Mickey Moniak with a solo home run in the second inning made it 6-0 there. So Rockies have put up 6 in the first 2 against the major league leading Atlanta Braves there, out in Colorado too. So that is quite the score. The Orioles need to get something here with Mayo, Alexander, and Henderson up to bat, though we'll potentially see a pinch hitter for either one of those 2. I could certainly see that happening. Yeah, Brian Baker got the save for Tampa Bay. I like that because that gets me points. So let's see. I think yeah, Camilo Doval is in for the Yankees. Let me switch my baseball savant page over to him. So, no, not Pasquale. Camilo Doval. Cutter, slider, and sinker are his 3 pitches of use. Primarily a cutter thrower. Colton Cowser is the pinch hitter for Kobe Mayo. Interesting that they pinch hit Colton Cowser. I get he's a lefty. A little surprised they don't go with Tyler O'Neill just because Cowser has been really bad so far this season. And since he's also an outfielder, so maybe they... I'm not sure. Maybe they'll sub him out for someone... I don't know how it's going to go like defensively after that. Cowser takes ball 1 on a cutter that is well outside. 98 mile per hour cutter, so flame-throwing righty in Camilo Doval has a 6.97 ERA, though, through 10 and a third innings. 1.16 whip, though. Opponent's batting average is 2.38. Cowser will look at strike 1 on a cutter that just clips the bottom right corner of the zone. Just barely. And that was very, very close. Good thing Cowser did not challenge that. 1-1 here to him. He will swing through there at 98 for strike 2. That's crazy. 99 cutter and 98 sinker. That's just like crazy. Ryan McMahon is in at third base defensively for Ahmed Rosario. So Doval in a favorable count here against Cowser. Doval the righty, Cowser the lefty. Next pitch is down low with a sinker for ball 2. Cowser does not swing. Another very, very fast sinker. So like upper 90s for the cutter and the sinker. There is strike 3 called looking. Cowser takes the sinker well in the zone there. Not surprising that Cowser strikes out, because as much as I like him, he has been absolutely awful this season and probably needs a stint in AAA to figure out how to hit a baseball again. So that'll bring up Blaze Alexander, who is 1 for 2. 1 of 3 hits the Orioles have so far today. Takes ball 1 on a sinker low. 1 of only 2 Orioles to actually get a hit so far. No, sorry, 1 of 3. Beside also has it. Is Alonso's gotten on base twice because he had the walk. That's what it was. So 1-0 count here to Alexander. He will ground this one foul on the sinker. So if this score holds, I don't know if we'll see David Bednar in the 9th just because it's 4 runs. But that will obviously very much depend on how this next 2 innings go. Or half innings, I should say. Both teams. Alexander will chop this one just foul on another sinker. So a lot of sinkers so far to Blaze Alexander. Now in a 1-2 hole with a couple foul balls. So Yankees, again, leading the American League. And obviously the AL East. Orioles firmly in the middle of the pack with most of the teams in the American League, given that most of the teams in the American League are not doing very well so far. 1-2 to Alexander is strike 3. Alexander swings through a cutter that is outside the zone. So 2 strikeouts here for Camilo Doval here in the 8th inning. There's not much you can do there. I mean, it's like just outside the zone, but it's a cut fastball. It's 99, by the way. It's just ridiculous. So Gunnar Henderson up over 3. Swings through a sinker there at 100 for strike 1. So hitting triple digits. I mean, it's like Jordan Hicks with the triple digits sinkers. Henderson with a couple strikeouts, grounded into a fielder's choice. He did reach base, but it was in the fielder's choice. He will saw off his bat. That is a grounder right over to second base, and Jazz Chisholm, who will throw him out. That is a 1-2-3 inning for Camilo Doval, and that will leave the Orioles with just 3 outs left to try and salvage this game, which is not looking very likely, which is not surprising, given how they seem to be very hot and cold. And the deflating moment that happened after first couple innings. So it's not surprising the Orioles are not putting up a fight as they have not had too many comebacks so far. So it should be Austin Wells, Trent Grisham, and Paul Goldschmidt to bat in the bottom of the 8th. I'm going to assume Tyler Wells is going to stay out there. I don't think Alvarez wants to burn another reliever here. Not when they're down 4. And because Wells is usually a guy who can go a decent bit of innings. We'll see what happens, essentially. So let's see. Anything else going on that doesn't involve baseball? Let's see. Nothing really. Don't see too much. Yeah, nothing much going on in the world that I can see, at least. So Tyler Wells, it's Wells on Wells here. Tyler Wells versus Austin Wells. First pitch drops in with a curveball there for strike 1. I don't think these guys are related, by the way. So Jeremiah Jackson subs in at second. Blaze Alexander moves over to third, so I think Jeremiah Jackson replaces Colton Cowser. So I think Alvarez was trying to play the matchups. I'm a little surprised he didn't go with Tyler O'Neill there, just because O'Neill's been hitting slightly better than Cowser. Don't think it would have mattered. O'Neill probably would have struck out as well. Wells, the batter, also took swung through strike 2 from Wells, the pitcher. Takes ball 1 there on a changeup away. They'll be Ward, Rutschman, and Alonso to try and keep the O's alive in the top of the 9th. That pitch is just outside with a fastball for ball 2. Tyler Wells thought it would have strike 3, but Austin Wells was wise enough to know that it was not strike 3. It's 2-2 here from Wells to Wells. Is chopped foul just barely. Austin Wells just barely gets a piece of that Tyler Wells fastball to stay alive. So O's hoping that they can take this 4-run deficit into the 9th and try and salvage something. Dylan Beavers would be the tying run, since Ward, Rutschman, and Alonso cannot win it between those 3, or even tie it up between those 3, as they are down 4. So the 2-2 again from Wells to Wells is down and in for ball 3. Full count now for Austin Wells, the catcher for the Yankees. All right, I'm saving that GIF of the as Wells will fight this one into shallow center field. That will drop down for a base hit. Yeah, there's, looking at Reddit, there's the GIF of Henderson and Mayo leaping over Ward from that flyout back in the first inning. That is really funny. So 1 out, or 1 on, nobody out on the fastball knocked back into shallow center. So Trent Grisham takes ball 1 on a slider that was just barely above the zone. So that was right off the end of the bat from Tyler Wells there. Or sorry, I confused myself there, from Austin Wells, right off the end of the bat for that bloop single. Grisham will knock this one high out into right field, and that will stay well in the park for out number 1. Dylan Beavers barely had to move there and right. That brings up Paul Goldschmidt. So double play would get Wells out of the inning. Anything else would bring up Ben Rice. Goldschmidt 0 for 3 with the walk. And the fifth time up in the order for the Yankees. Goldschmidt knocked this one high out into left field. That will just barely not even get to the warning track, actually. Ward gets the fly out there for out number 2. So a first pitch fly out to left there for Paul Goldschmidt. That will bring up Ben Rice. 1 for 4 with that 3-run home run, which is still the decider in this game. Since that made it, at the time, 5-0, actually, or 5-1. Now that I think about it, because it was 2-1 after the Caballero solo homer. So yeah, that made it 5-1. Rice fouls this cutter off for strike 1, meanwhile. So Povich still in line for the loss here with the 5 earned runs. Probably could have had that one of them be an unearned run, courtesy of Dylan Beavers, but they never called it that. 0-1 to Rice is grounded right up the middle, right past the glove of Tyler Wells. So that will be a 2-out single for Ben Rice, brings up Aaron Judge. Second hit of the night for Ben. Judge, who is, 2 for 2 with 2 walks? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So Judge does have a strikeout as well, I guess. So, oh no, I'm looking at, 1 for 2 with 2 walks. That's what it is. So Judge having a productive night at the plate. Takes ball 1 on a cutter, low and away. Would Judge be walked, it would load the bases here. But Judge has hit Tyler Wells well in his career so far. With 2 on here as well. Judge will foul this one away on a fastball at the top of the zone. 19 pitches now for Tyler Wells. Just the second guy out of the bullpen for Baltimore tonight, which is certainly helpful for the rest of the series. Though you would like the starters to certainly go deeper for the Orioles in the next couple days. There's a curveball that drops in for strike 2. Hits the bottom of the zone. Judge wisely does not challenge there. That was a good pitch. Takes his time here as well as he's in a 1-2 hole. Box score is also a little bit behind. There we go. All right. Just a little bit behind. So Judge 1-2 at the moment is the count. 2 outs. 2 on, 6-2 game in favor of the Yankees. 21st pitch from Wells is just below the zone with a curveball for ball 2. Just below the zone. Judge looks at it well. The O's struggling right now with 2 outs on the pitching side. They've not been able to put away the inning consistently so far this season. Judge will knock this one through the left center side. That will bring in a run, as it will be first and third, I think. 7-2 now for the Yankees on the RBI single. Nope, first and second. That will no longer mean David Bednar is going to take the 9th, at least to start, unless things get dicey for the Yankees. But that looked like a fastball that Judge just beats into the ground in between second and short. Nobody is there. Should have brought, I think, Goldschmidt there in for the score. First pitch is a strike to Cody Bellinger on a fast changeup, actually, not a fastball. So Bellinger, 2 doubles, strikeout, and a walk tonight. With runners on first and second and 2 outs again. There's a changeup again, pretty much same spot for strike 2. So again, the same spot the Orioles have been in a lot this season. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Just can't seem to be able to get out of the inning when this shows up. Trevor Rogers has had a lot of trouble with that in his past couple starts. Obviously, Wells struggling with this tonight. Bellinger took brief timeout, but he's back in the box now. Wells gets ready to deliver here on the 0-2 pitch, and swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Cody Bellinger. So Yankees get one again, extend the lead to 5. O's have some work to do if they want to try and not embarrass themselves here in the first game of the series. Again, it will be Ward, Rutschman, and Alonso. Ward and Rutschman both 0 for 3. I think both have some like on-base streaks as well on the line here, so certainly would like for them to get on base. I think the Brewers are having a rough go of things at the moment with pitching, because I know Brandon Woodruff got pulled. I think he's going to have Tommy John surgery. And now Jacob Mizorowski just got pulled from the game with a no-hitter in the 6th inning at 85 pitches. So hopefully that's not anything injury related and it's something else entirely. The Brewers don't need any more injuries on the pitching front, that's for sure. Otherwise, let's see. Scoreboard again once more, as we will most likely, this will most likely be the last commercial break. I hope it actually isn't, because that would mean either a pitching substitution or the end of the inning, and we would go to the bottom of the 9th, and that would mean the Orioles scored some runs. But for now, though, Rangers still up 5-4 over the Tigers. Pirates still up, or I think they're actually up 6-0 now over the Reds. Marcell Ozuna, 2-run home run there. Can I go back? There we go. Brewers still up 6-1 over the Nats. Phillies up 6-1 over the Marlins. Sosa, what is your first name, Mr. Sosa? Edmundo Sosa with an RBI single, and then Bryson Stott, 3-run home run. Blue Jays up 6-2 over the Twins. Cardinals still up 4-1 over the Dodgers. Braves got a run back, so they're still down 6-1 as strike 1 to Taylor Ward, courtesy of Jake Bird. I think Ward might be challenging this as well. Mets and Angels started, they're 0-0. White Sox, Padres have all started, they're 0-0. Guardians, Athletics, same thing, they've started 0-0. Same with the Royals and Mariners, 0-0. That is unsuccessful. Actually, Yankees challenge, it was called a ball, overturned to a strike. The Yankees are successful there. Red Sox won 3-1 over the Astros. Rangers won 5-4 over the Tigers. I think that one just ended. And those are the only 2 games that have gone final since the last time I checked. That is strike 2 on Taylor Ward there on what looked like some kind of breaking fastball that clipped the outside part of the zone. So quick 0-2 hole for Taylor Ward. Next pitch is in there, strike 3 called. So Ward goes down on 3 straight pitches, all looking. Gotta take the bat off your shoulder sometime, buddy. That's how you play baseball. 12th strikeout of the game for the Yankees, as the Orioles are having a terrible time at the plate. So Ward strikes out looking on a sweeper there. Adley Rutschman 0 for 3 on the night as well. Up to bat here, now batting lefty. Ball 1 on a sweeper that is just below the zone there. So Rutschman, again, is having a good stretch at the moment, but not a good night here. But again, most of the Orioles have not been having a good night hitting. That is strike 1 on a sweeper that is located very well. Just clips the bottom left corner of the zone. Like just really, really well located there from Jake Bird. O's dugout is looking very dejected, as they should be. Adley will swing through a curveball there for strike 2. So not a good game, courtesy of the Orioles. Really just the Alonso homer, and that was about it. They have 3 hits on the game, which is not good. It's not how you win baseball games. To the Yankees, 11 hits. Not how you want to do showing up to your division rival's doorstep. Rutschman will knock this one foul off of home plate, so he stays alive. So Rutschman and Alonso are the batters here. If one of them were to reach. If there's a replay of an awkward swing for Adley, he fights this one basically off his fists right back to Jake Bird, who throws him out at first. They're showing a weird like swing finish for Adley. I was hoping he just wasn't injured, but I think he's okay. And Adley and Ward both go 0 for 4 on the night. O's need to score 5 with no outs left to give. Alonso up to bat here, 1 for 2 with a home run and a walk. Takes strike 1 on a sinker at the bottom of the zone. So if Alonso were to reach, it would be Samuel Basayo. Then if Basayo were to reach, it would be Dylan Beavers. Then if Beavers were to reach, it would be Luis Taveras. Then after that, it would be Jeremiah Jackson would be the potential tying run. That is very, very slim at the moment, unless the Orioles pull out a complete rabbit out of the hat here. Alonso does take ball 1 there from Jake Bird. Does have to start with someone. Will Alonso get his second hit of the night? He will look at ball 2 on a sweeper inside. The O's putting a pretty pathetic show on tonight, unfortunately. A very hot and cold team at the moment. Alonso looks at strike 2 right in the middle. O's just not really swinging at many of these pitches either. So Orioles down to their last strike, down 5, nobody on, 2 outs, 2 strikes, top of the 9th. Yankees fans getting loud in there over in Yankee Stadium. The Venator class Star Destroyer, I guess also Imperial class Star Destroyer alarm is going off. Alonso will foul this one off. Yeah, the Yankees, as the evil empire, use the ISD warning klaxon or like alarm klaxon as their 2-strike sound effect. Yankees have a lot of sound effects in their stadium. It's a little annoying. 2-2 again to Alonso will be fouled back again on a sinker there at the top of the zone. So Alonso is at least having some fun here with his final at-bat of the night. 14 pitches now for Jake Bird, who's gotten 2 outs here and is a strike away from getting the 3rd out and the end of the game. 2-2 again. Alonso will take ball 3 on a curveball inside. So Alonso does run the count full. Does have the Orioles' lone walk of the night, does Pete Alonso. That is a ball away from walking a second time, but is also a ball away from striking out. He will walk instead, as that one is inside. I think Austin Wells is going to challenge. This is very inside. This is not going to be overturned. This is like at least 2 inches inside. Yeah, then nowhere close to being a strike. This was maybe even 3 inches inside. Yeah, they're not even showing the distance. It was that far inside. So Alonso gets his second walk of the night. Second walk for the Orioles. Starting the rally, boys. We're starting the rally. No, I don't think the Orioles are going to win, unfortunately. I don't have too much confidence in them at the moment. Basayo takes ball 1 on a sweeper outside. Alonso steals second with no throw attempt. Doesn't really matter too much. Again, Orioles are down 5. You're fine giving up a base. So Basayo on the 1-0 will take strike 1. Does not challenge. Probably should have challenged that as a sweeper. Alonso just decides to walk over to 3rd. No attempt as well. Just 2 stolen bases for Pete Alonso here. He's all the way over to 3rd base. Again, doesn't really matter because there's only 1 run. 1-1 to Basayo is knocked over into right field. Oh, never mind that. I thought that was a lot more. Over into right field, 4 and out. Okay. Looked like he got a lot more power over it. And again, short porch in right. But that is end of the game. I got excited for a half second, and then it was just nowhere. Why couldn't that have been the Ben Rice hit? Why did he have to go? All right, well, that was a terrible game. Easily the worst game I've streamed so far for the Orioles. They lose 7-2 to the most annoying team in the league in the New York Yankees. Hopefully the O's get a game back or 2 in this 4-game series, and they remember how to hit a baseball again, because there are games they remember, and then other games they just completely and utterly forget, this one being one of them. So that will do it for this little stream right here. As per usual, I do 2 streams per week. If it will be for a good chunk of the foreseeable future. It will be Final Fantasy VII on Thursdays, as I've started up Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Got through the first 2 chapters yesterday. Very fun game so far. And then next week will be Orioles and Athletics at home. The actually pretty decent Sacramento Athletics, formerly Oakland Athletics. I think they're technically just the Athletics, but yeah, the A's are coming to Baltimore next week for that stream there. Hopefully it goes better than this one, because I think I'm now, 3-3, I want to say, in streams for the O's, because they lost, because they won opening day. They lost against the Pirates. I'm actually going to look this up real quick. Let's see. Content, if I go to live. Yeah, they won the opening day against the Twins, lost against the Pirates. I think they lost. Did they lose that one against the Giants? Actually, don't remember. They won the one against the Guardians that I streamed, because that was the only one they won that series. And then won the Red Sox. Yeah, I think I'm now 3-3 on games that I've streamed for Fridays. So hopefully they advance to 4-3 on games that I stream next week. But you'll have to tune in next week. As for now, that'll do it. I want to get these Yankees off my screen and go do literally anything else. So yeah, that'll be it. Thank you very much for watching.